For the first time in a long while, we're back on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, and by we, I mean me, and a Wednesday night doubleheader, and what a doubleheader it promises to be, ladies and gentlemen. One of the underrated classics of world motorsport to host the latest round of the merch.GSRC.inc BMW M Sport Cup, and then on to one of the more talked about venues that's recently landed in the iRacing universe, the Qualcomm circuit in San Diego, the Naval base, which recently hosted NASCAR, of course, back in June, around about the time that things went to the proverbial in Australian motorsport. More on that very shortly. Good evening, everybody. Zach Cabot alongside Jordan Piazzolla and Andrew Neal. Thanks for keeping the seat warm over the last couple of weeks, boys. Greatly appreciated. It's been a busy time with the Porsche Pro Invitational, and also, of course, there was a Jim Jeffries excursion included into all of that as well. But we're back. I'm here this week. I'm away next week again, Porsche Pro, and then back for rounds 9 and 10. But as you can see on the screen there, it's been a while since I've been in the house. Jordan Piazzolla, for the benefit of me and anybody else that hasn't been around the traps for the last couple of weeks for a variety of different reasons, welcome to you firstly. Good evening. Looking forward to this race. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, a quick recap to sum up where we are right now as we head into a critical round of the season because drop rounds become part of the equation tonight.
Yes, hello. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Zach. It's nice to hear that you've been laughing your cheeks off recently. But yeah, BMW M Sport Cup here tonight, and another weekly Wednesday race for us. And yeah, Dyson's been the man in form as of late. Unfortunately, copped an invoice last week for an incident out at Long Beach. But yeah, Funzalo out in second, and Chris Henn, he's in third place, but he has kept himself so steady all season. I'm so excited to see what he can do in the final sort of quarter of the championship here, especially as you mentioned the drop points. They will definitely play a part, into all of the calculations after this race. But yeah, Chris Henn, he's definitely one of the names that I want to keep an eye out for. He was obviously the round winner last week at Long Beach, and then yeah, Brookfield in fourth and Leach in fifth, King sixth. He's actually tied on points there with Jeff Adams, so obviously very close for them. They're obviously only 2 points behind Leachy as well. And he's obviously not far off of Brookfield in that fight for fourth. So a few guys there battling for fourth. Zamora, Merritt, and Laves ran out the 10. Merritt's he's not been here the last 2 weeks as well. So he's just dropped out of title contention, you'd nearly want to say. But obviously he's those 2 races that he's missed, they are his drop rounds. So once everything gets done tonight, we'll be able to see then where Merritt does lie in standings compared to everyone else, but he's had nothing but top 2 results this season.
All right, very nicely done. And only 13 points there. Dyson to Funzalo, that's worth keeping an eye on. Also, look further afield. John Merritt, 9th place at the moment. How far back into the equation does he come once the drop rounds come into the equation? He is on P2 at the moment in qualifying. We're almost at the end of that session, about 25 seconds away. 7 thousandths of a second, the difference between 700ths of a second, the difference between he and Andrew Dyson. So we could be on for an absolute ball terror of a race tonight. Now, a bit of housekeeping. We need to address a couple of matters. You mentioned about some penalties and people getting whacked over the knuckles or spending time in the naughty corner. We believe that might hit a bit too close to home for you.
Yeah, a little bit. Copped a few of them, and unfortunately for me, it's a big one tomorrow. My first race suspension, but those things happen in racing. You gotta take it on the chin and just keep looking forward for the other races in the season. And yeah, for me, I'm out tomorrow in the Formula V's, so I'll join you up in the booth and get to watch all of that chaos out at VIR on the North Course.
Probably safer in here anyway, and it'll be good to have you in the booth as well, but then you'll be in the Porsches out on the circuit, as you will be the Supercars tonight. There's the Lime Rock circuit. You know it, you love it, ladies and gentlemen. Grid not wanting to cooperate at the moment. 9:30 local server time, or near enough to it. 8 km/h winds in a northerly direction, tending northeasterly, but very slowly. 23 degrees the ambient, 29 on track, 89% humidity and cloudy conditions. 0% moisture around the place at the moment. 2.35 kilometre circuit. It's an absolute classic. Andrew Dyson, John Merritt front row, Richard Brookfield, James Katia second row, Guy Leach, Chris Hen from 3, Jeff Adams and Maverick Benson from 4, Adam Lavis and Richard King from 5. From 6... It's all right. Eduardo Zamora, Adam Funslow, 7, Joe Baldwin. There he is. Change is coming. Carnage incoming, he says. I thought it said change. It says carnage. He's right. Carnage incoming for Trucker. He's starting 13th. Tarek Alani from 14th. Hilton Boots, Steve Daniels Jr. from 15th and 16th, respectively. 9th row, Nathan, Michael, John Baldwin. So we've got both Baldwins out there tonight. Philip Hambley and Dale Jeffries round out the top 20. Good to see Dale back on the grid. Pete Matson, Greg Heaney, Kevin Wakefield, Thorn Weggett, and Russell Gander round out this field. Ryan Jones was in the server, but he may have exited stage left. I dare say he's in there just to throw shade at Andrew Dyson and any other DPR entry that's having a crack. We are almost ready to fire. Who's your tip, please?
Oh, Dyson for sure. Merritt's also finally back out here on the front row as well, so I'm sure he'll have something to say for Dyson as we get ready for the start here, and away we go for the BMWs here at Lime Rock Park on the classic layout. Dyson's got the jump. Merritt's going to hop in directly behind, and Brookfield nicely into third for his start as we go around this long sweeping turn 1 here as we get into some of the tighter complex, and it's a bit of a scrap around at the back end. What did you notice there, Zach?
I was going to say, I'll tell you who made good jump off the start there, good progress, is Adam Funslow. Needed to, too. Poor qualifying, ended up in 12th. Already up 3 spots, mate. Really good start, key start for Adam Funslow. There's a couple of things about this circuit, as you know all too well. How's that for a shot? Just to highlight the undulation and the elevation and the rise and fall of this circuit. They make their way down the hill for the first time. Funslow needs to make hay while the sunshine here because there is no real opportunity to break clear of the chasing pack. We expect a slipstreaming, drafting, slicing, dicing sort of battle all night long. Very similar to what you contended with at Indianapolis on Monday night.
Yeah, but don't forget these BMWs, they're not as drafty as what we have experienced in the production class before with GSRC. So we've heard that a lot with the chatter of these guys in the post-race interviews, but it still will very much be the play of this race in staying in that slipstream and seeing what can happen.
Through the back section of the circuit, so Dyson holds sway, so Racecraft is going to come into it as well.
That is a beautiful shot.
Absolutely. There's also a compulsory splash and dash, as we know, so I dare say there'll be a bit of moving and shaking down pit road tonight. Have a look at how on the limit they are, hugging the white line onto the lane straight, 2 gone. Now, very quick laps around here, around about that minute marker. In fact, just under the minute marker across the line goes Andrew Dyson. Have a look at that, 55.911. So strap in, folks. It's a 40-lap ride. Sorry, it's a 15-minute race here. Are we going sprint racing tonight? We are too. Sorry, my apologies. I wasn't aware. I thought I read the memo that said, yeah, actually, that's a good point. That's a good point. Somebody stitched us up.
Yep, they have. We have been stitched up here in the booth.
Because our memo is showing, our points table that Adam Labers goes through and sets up at the start of the season, and our schedule and everything else had us set for, well, it had us set for 40 minutes. So I was here thinking, oh, yep, beauty, 40 laps, yep, excellent, lovely. It's only 15 minutes. We're going sprint racing tonight. Not expected, but hey, we'll welcome it in because that's going to spice things up dramatically in race 2.
And that means no CPS here in race 1 then?
Definitely in race 2, but that makes it difficult for Adam Funslow to work his way beyond 9th to get back as far up the field as he can. But if he doesn't move from there right now, mate, he'll find himself on the front row for the inverts. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Go for it.
Oh, very interesting. Obviously, Funslow's second in the championship. He's 13 points off of Dyson at the moment, and he's got a little bit of ground to find here. But it might be able to play in his favour because Lime Rock is an absolute pain to find a move around here. It is an incredibly hard track to make a move and make it safely as well, which is another main criteria when you're overtaking. But you're always just pushing the limits here as well. So everyone always on that far edge of the circuit, like you're mentioning, and through this last corner, you see them absolutely send it. And actually the front 2, and actually most of the front 5 there, 6, 7 even having an off track on the final corner.
Now, the next thing I'd like to know is when was this changed? Because it was showing, and I can vouch for this because I put the schedule together at the start of the season. It said that this was going to be a 40-minute round. So when was that changed? It hasn't been changed on the points matrix, but it must have been a late change on our calendar. I'll have to go back and have a look at where we were the other night with a view to... and it's still actually no, sorry, the calendar is still showing regular. It's tomorrow night that it's sprint racing all across the board. So the calendar's even showing it as 40-minute racing tonight for the BMWs and also for the supercars. So forward your complaints to whoever's in charge. Hello, Benny Woods on that note.
Well, I have just found a message from Ben Woods on the 3rd of the 7th at 8:51 for myself here in Adelaide, and it does say Lime Rock. Yep. It does say Lime Rock Sprint, so it says it is sprint racing at least on this Discord message in the BMW channel that we've got.
Just not on any other documentation that we've got.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's slipped our hands here.
Well, to be fair, as we were discussing earlier, I don't normally dig into the Discord chats. Normally that all that correspondence that I research comes through the drive documents, so the calendar, the live timing, the points matrix, etc. And everything on there says, hang on, boys, we're going 40-minute racing. And I'm sure it was promoted as such on Monday night as well. So even Adam Lavis, the broadcast coordinator and one of the head honchos of this club, didn't even get that memo. Oh, well. So we'll talk about that for the next 45 minutes, just as we get over it. Strap in, folks. Buckle up. Hold on tight. John Merritt, fastest lap of the race, 55.883. Important to note too, Jordan, they've broken clear of Richard Brookfield. Brookfield's about 1.2 away. So on a circuit, for cars where the slipstream effect is also a talking point and also not as beneficial as it is in other categories in other cars, that 1.2 is going to be very hard to jag back, especially when you're dealing with guys the calibre of Dyson and Merritt.
Oh yeah, to catch Merritt and Dyson is a feat and a half. But Brookfield, if he can just hold on to that third, that'll be absolutely great for him. I'm just looking at past results. He's only had one top 3 so far this season. He's currently 4th in the standings as well, and trying to hold off all of those other guys behind him in the overall championship fight. But yeah, he had a 3rd at Long Beach, so he could technically go back-to-back here with podiums, which would be really good for Richard. But I think just hold his ground at the moment. He's pulling his own gap to the cars behind of Leach and Katia, as the Leach is under pressure here. We're going to see a move by Adams into turn 1. Is he going to commit to it? He does commit to it, and he is going to be axle to axle as they swing through. He's going to get that move done on Katia there, and now he'll try and look forward to Leach and try and get 4th place there. But really nice move there by Adams.
Important for him as well. Up into position number 5. Katia, Hen, in close tow. Benson, Funslow. Funslow made those 3 positions on the opening lap. Has not been able to make any further inroads since. Pete Matson, Ryan Jones sitting on pit road at the moment. And Jones has been there since the start. Big stand. Oh, got away with it. Jeff Adams held on the outside. Something's happened to Pistol. Pete's on the tow rope and on pit road. If Andrew Neal can have a look at that for us, so that we can show you at home, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, light reading whilst we're in the intermission tonight, head to the Auto Action website. You'll have heard me talking about Pete's actually just pulled over and said, you know what, I'm not sure I can keep going with this. So not sure what's going on there, either a screen freeze or maybe something real world's come up for Pete, whatever it is. Hopefully he's back out there for race 2. But it's interesting, right? Do yourself a favour. Everything I've been speaking about the last couple of weeks, the domino effect, everything biting the dust, everything imploding and going up in, destructive manner, has come to a head because Auto Action is the first to go to print with some details regarding the court case between the Benalla Auto Club and the Australian Autosport Alliance, and it makes for juicy bloody reading, let me tell you that. 8.5 minutes gone here, so 8.5 gone and 6.5 to go. We're past half race distance, importantly, Jordan, and there's just no catching Dyson and Merritt. But I'll tell you what, Dyson can't afford to slip up in the slightest here. He cannot afford to blink, he cannot afford to cough or splutter, because Merritt's keeping him honest.
Oh, he's keeping him very honest at the moment, but I do just want to say to the crowd of people watching, in case you're not one that's too interested in looking online for, you know, all of that drama going on with V8SC, just add Zach on Facebook, and he just, you know, puts it all out there for us. So he shares all of the information we need. Yeah, you know, he's our source of news.
You're most welcome.
Oh,
Thank you.
big send by Dyson over the top of the hill as he tries to open this gap to Merritt. Really big send.
That's the point right there. Forget about my social media following. I don't need any more people paying attention to my garbage.
No.
Don't punish yourself, ladies and gentlemen. No, the reality of the matter is, what happened there with Daiso is just evidence of what we know about this circuit, right? They've gapped Richard Brookfield by 2 seconds, but to do that, it is a circuit that requires mega commitment lap in, lap out.
Oh, it's always about the commitment, but the one thing you've also got to worry about is your incident limits here, because if you keep doing things like that, you're going to hit that 16 limit and you're going to cop yourself a drive-through. And the last corner here is probably one of the corners that bites the hardest, because it's got that downhill, it drags you out with the understeer. So you very much get the off tracks there, but we do see, even as they come around this right-hander over the top of the hill, you can send yourself wide. And even if you have a bit of a fishtail over the top, I mean, you can lose yourself quite easy there. Obviously, I've never driven these BMWs and you know, don't plan to. But cut over that, look, these things obviously do have the electronics to help them in moments like that. But it's still always a risky moment when you're absolutely sending it over the top of hill. But I did also want to mention Hilton Booth. He's down in 13th at the moment, but he's one of the other drivers that's had a couple of moves up. He's moved up 2 spots at the moment, and that's good for him, because unfortunately he had a shocker last weekend out at Long Beach with a DNF in race 1, and then it did not start there in race 2. So to see Hilton back out on track and just in the top 15 here and up 2 positions in race 1, that's really nice there by Booth.
It's almost like Lime Rock is not something I consider to be a goat track, but with the lack of positional gain and loss so far, it's almost like we've found the BMW version of a goat track. And I didn't expect to be saying that about Long Beach. So top 3 remain exactly where they started. Jeff Adams +3, James Katia -2, Chris Henn -1. Fanslow +3 at the expense of Lavis, King and Zamora. Booth +2 at the expense of Baldwin. Daniels +1, Alani -2. And then Michael, Baldwin, Hambley, Jeffries 0. They haven't moved. Heaney, Wakefield +1. Wiggett 0. Gander +1. Natson -3. So we saw Pete pull up and cars go by him. So all those guys have benefited from Pete's departure. And that is departure from the server. He's gone. He's checked out for the night. So, yeah, very minimal movement so far, which brings me to the invert, Jordan. That's going to be juicy. That's going to be spicy, because we know that everybody's going to want to make inroads and make ground to try and take away as many championship points as possible. But just how much are they going to have to rely on their pit strategy to get them up a car or 2 in the running order? This is going to be a compelling sort of night.
Yeah, that might just be the first time we see ultra spiciness here in the BMWs. This is what I'm talking about with the off tracks. Like I've mentioned, they keep sending it. They've got to worry. They do need to look down on their black boxes and find out what the incident limits is and where they are compared to it, because I'm sure some of these drivers will be very close to that limit, and especially in race 2 with a longer length, that's even more of a worry for these drivers.
That was Richard Brookfield with 2 wheels in the weeds. But even with that, he's 3 seconds behind Merritt and 2 seconds clear of Jeff Adams, who's under pressure from Guy Leach here, which should go 16 laps in this opening heat.
Now we're going to go side by side here. Ooh. As we tuck in behind the trees with a great angle into the uphill, and it looks like Katia got that move there on Leach, so nicely done into that right-hander. Really difficult to get a move done really anywhere around here, but to be able to get that move on the uphill, nicely done as he tries to just look forward into the last stages of this race and just try and open up the gap behind. But Leach is still under pressure here, and it's from Chris Henn this time, and mind you, he was the round winner last time. We're going to see Fanslow get a move done for 8th, and that's exactly what he needs as well. He just needs these extra points while he can at a difficult place to get these moves done. And we're going to see potentially 3 wide there. No, not quite, as Katia sent himself deep. Leach is going to fight that back, but Katia is going to hold on as we go into the left-hander of 3.
And news I didn't expect to be reporting tonight as well. I'm not going to talk about the AFL stuff. Fair dinkum, that is depressing, watching the Swans choke before grand final day. But, well, actually, it saves the frustration of watching the grand final as an actual invested fan and spectator at this point. But there's other news coming from the world of tennis, probably least surprising, actually, or less surprising, rather, to be grammatically on top. White flag flies here at Lime Rock, so Dyson Merritt all up from home. Aussie tennis sensation Nick Kyrgios has tested positive for cocaine, admitting he made a huge mistake. So there you go. More on that one in your various news services around the country throughout the course of the evening. Geez, sport is the gift that keeps on giving for the news services at the moment. Fair income, not least, of course, Motorsport with its own controversy as well. Dyson, Merritt, Brookfield, Adams, Katia, Leach, Hen, Funslow, Benson and Lavis, the top 10. Adams got the invert pole in his grasp right now. Look at this. And he's 4 seconds clear of Richard King. Funslow has since moved up by Maverick Benson to be +4, biggest mover of the race so far. But at the front, calm, precise and controlled from Andrew Dyson. And he will lead John Merritt home at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. Job done. Dyson's victorious. Down the main straight. Absolutely nothing Merritt could do about that. And it's very hard when you're two supremely good operators, as they are, and neither one of them trips up. Brookfield in for third. Adams, Katia, Leach, Hen, Funslow, Benson, and Adam Lavis for the pole.
A 7th win of the season here for Dyson in the BMW M Sport Cup. So just like you said, dominant fashion. He would have been, nearly on a streak of what's this? It's nearly 6 odd wins in the season. But unfortunately, yeah, that 7th place at Long Beach took that away, and he has to reset that streak. But I'm sure he can probably go all the way to the end. We'll have to see what he does in race 2. It's going to be hard from the invert, like you've mentioned, and it's very hard to pass around here, like we've just seen now in race 1.
Indeed, we're here with thanks to the great people at Waste Options, Trophi.AI, merch.GSRC.in, Flash Graphics and Disruptive Labs. This is Wednesday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, live, exclusive and free. Beyond the top 10, Richard King, Eduardo Zamora, Hilton Booth, and then Joe Baldwin, Steve Daniels, Nathan Michael, Tarek Alani, John Baldwin, Philip Hambley and Dale Jeffries. Beyond that, we'll just need to skim over the page a little bit there, please, Andrew Neil. Greg Heaney, Kevin Wakefield, Russell Gander and Pete Matson, the only retirement. And can someone bloody well check the Supercar schedule for this evening, please? Because I feel as though if we've been stitched up here, we might be getting stitched up when we get to Qualcomm. But if it is just a straightforward 40-minute race, that's good news for all and sundry. How are you feeling about tackling the Qualcomm circuit, Jordan?
I'm quite excited. I mean, I've done a little bit of practice around there, and it is one hell of a circuit. I'm actually just registering for the session now in the background to make sure I don't miss that when it does come around to it. But yeah, I've done some practice around there, and it's one hell of a circuit. There's a couple of points. It's a long circuit. There's plenty of corners around there, but there's a couple of points, and there's one I can specifically think of. Don't know which corner numbers. But it's probably only about 2.5 cars wide from wall to wall. And then there's other sections where you can probably go about 16, 17 cars wide. So as a street circuit at a Navy base, it's exactly what you would expect. Crazy tight in some spaces, crazy open in other spots. But I'm excited to see what can happen. There's definitely going to be a few spots out there as well where it's going to be a little bit spicy. And I can see definitely a couple of spots which will be a little bit rough on lap 1, I reckon.
Brace yourself for fireworks and drama and action and excitement, ladies and gentlemen. Very much looking forward to that. Adam Lavis with the invert pole and the feature with you in about 10 seconds' time. Full night of sprint racing tomorrow night, folks. Looking forward to VIR North, as Jordan said, for the Disruptive Labs Formula V. And then on to Interlagos for sprint racing in the Porsches. Andrew Neil with me for that. Road America for the doubleheader on Friday night. Trucker and I with you from 7:25 Eastern, GT1 into IndyCar, which is at a critical point in the season as well. Great to have you along for the ride. Thorn Weggett, rather than focusing on the task at hand that is the BMW. Too excited already for the Vs, and I don't blame him. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, Mr. Kirby's in the house. Good evening to you at 7:49 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Where are we at the moment? What are we? About 7 weeks away from all hell breaking loose on that front, and us here at the platforms of the GSRC having far too many time zones to try and contend with and work around. But I always think of you when that's on the horizon. Good evening to you. Adam Lavis, Maverick Benson, front row here. Adam Funslow, Chris Hand, second row. Guy Leach, James Gatea, third row. Then Jeff Adams, Richard Brookfield, John Merritt and Andrew Dyson. How far through the field can they work themselves? Richard King, Eduardo Zamora, Hilton Booth, Joe Baldwin, Steve Daniels, Nathan Michael, Tarek Alani, John Baldwin, etc., etc., etc. Lights out, away we go. Watch the launch from Adam Lavis. Start is key. Adam Funslow nailed it earlier on. He's got a chance to get the whole shot from third this time through, but Adam Lavis will keep him at bay. To the first corner we go. Reach and hand there on the inside. They're all trying to work their way through. Good start. Good clean start, actually. Everybody away safely, and the two Adams hold sway. That was important for Adam Funslow. That's two starts that he's nailed. He got the +3 in race 1, Jordan, +1 in race 2. Now he can set up for a crack at Lavis.
Yeah, crucial for him to get a blinder of a start here, and he has done that to a T as he tries to look at the back end of Adam Laves as that sways across the track in front of him as we get close to round out lap 1 here in the 25-minute race here around Lime Rock Park. So nice longer race for us to deal with. But what is Funslow going to do here? Is he going to attack at the end of lap 1? It looks like Benson's going to try and follow him down the main straight here as we look into turn 1. Funslow, does he have it? He does have that. Adam Lace will have to slot in behind, and there would be no space for Benson to squeeze on through. But Funslow, absolutely crucial, like I was saying, for him to have a start, which he needed, and this here just adds to that. And now he just needs to look forward, drive away, and let the chaos happen behind us. I think there's just been an off-track for Katia.
There's a bit
of chaos in the background. I think they were nearly 3 wide there.
And there's a fair bit of idiotic behaviour stemming out of our chat thread at the moment, because we detailed that Kirby's birthday has already been gone, come and went, so drop off, you lot. Neil included from the Restream side of things. Yeah.
I was just jumping on the bandwagon.
Exactly. Don't encourage
drama in the background. There's 2 cars off.
There is big drama. Hilton Booth was one of them, and Richard King the other. Thorn, of course, watching on from race control. So I don't know, again, why he keeps registering as though he's out there on the circuit. That's not the case. But no, my birthday's only about 4 weeks away, boys, and it's during the off-season, thank Christ. I actually get to go out and enjoy my birthday for once this year. I'll be going and playing trivia with the boys in Goodness, so that'll be good fun. 2:32 in the evening. It's too early in the evening to swear at you lot, but if you keep going, fair dinkum. 2.5 minutes gone. Great start, Adam Funslow. Gets to the front. Adam Lavis in for second. Guy Leach, Maverick Benson, John Merritt. What a start from John Merritt. So whilst Dyson's struggled to get up through the field, John Merritt's making it look easy at the moment.
Yeah, I did want to mention that Merritt, he has had a blinder right now, and he's going to look for the move up into 4th on Mav Benson here into turn 1 on the pulse tuning BMW. It looks really nice, does that livery on that car, as he finally has something made up for the BMW now as we crack into the second half of the season. But he's now cracked up another position and up into 4th place for Merritt. This is not going well for Dyson. He needs to get up there with him, but he's stuck down in 9th place.
Fair dinkum. That comment thread is not going to make much sense to anyone throughout the course of the evening, and I can only apologise for that, ladies and gentlemen. Up over there we go. 3.5 minutes gone. Merritt in 4th place, up 5 spots. Guy Leach, his next target. He's got Maverick Benson and Chris Hand for company. And it's a long train of cars back down to about James Katia at 11th spot at the moment. Back around onto the lane, straight Adam Lavis is there. They're about to encounter some lap traffic in the form of Richard King, who had to venture via pit road at the end of lap 2. Hilton Booth, Eduardo Zamora have been on pit road as well. And that, if they have enough juice to get home, that can count as their CPS for this race. But knowing that it's 25 minutes, we're probably looking at easily 26 laps. So time will tell whether or not we need an extra transit, an extra little drop of juice for those 3 drivers that have already been to pit lane. Oh dear. Look at now. We'll be coming from there as well. Actually, to be fair, I'll take Snedden's comment as sincere because he actually did message me the other day. He said, "I've missed you commentating my races on a Wednesday night. When the bloody hell are you back there?" Just a busy time of the year. Couldn't be in 2 places at once. In fact, I had someone asking me over the weekend why I didn't get my backside to the Leyburn Sprints or Leeburn Sprints, depending upon which school you went to. And I said, "Mate, I can't be in 4 places at once. If I wasn't doing the the ASRG Bathurst 1000, I would have been going to do the ground announcing for the Ipswich Jets rugby league team. And I'm hosting their presentation this season, which I'm delighted to be doing. That's on September 17, so about a month from now. And had it not been, for the fact that those 2 commitments kept me up here, I would have been on an 8-hour drive to go and attend my sister's baby shower. So I had plenty of options on the table over the weekend just gone. I wouldn't wish the cloning system on anybody if they were to clone me and have 2, 3, 4 of me, but it would have come in very handy over the weekend just gone, Jordan.
Yeah, it definitely would be handy for you to happen. Oh, sorry, I was also just looking at some of the pit stop times for us to figure out some early numbers. We can see Zamora, Steve Daniels, Hilton Booth, Wakefield have all pitted. Obviously King as well, but he had to do some repairs during the time. But Zamora was 5.7 in the stop. Daniels was 5.1. Booth was 4.3, where Wakefield was 6.9. So a little bit of difference in stoppage times, but probably around that 5 seconds. If they can even get into the 4s like Booth, that might be really good for some of these guys like Dyson as he tries to still look up the field. What's this mistake for Jeffries? Oh, big crash. Big crash, an unfortunate innocent party involved as the engine gets blown.
But did you see as he's vaulted back out onto the circuit there? I don't know exactly who it was. We'll have to ID that car that he cleaned up. But just the sheer impact that spewed him back out onto the circuit, bang. Nowhere to go for the oncoming car.
No, that was a monumental crash there for Dale.
GSRC wouldn't miss Zach ever in commentating with 5 of you. I would be able to spread yourself out as the master. Well, Thorn was asking why I'm not commentating 5 or 6 nights a week anymore. The cloning system would actually allow that to happen, I'm sure. I'd just have to train 2 or 3 of me up to do what I do so that this one can go and be social on the nights that I need off to recharge the battery. 7 minutes gone. How did we get onto that? Who cares? 7 minutes gone. 25 is the journey. Pietazzola shove it in a supercar very shortly. We'll take it to Qualcomm at 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. And 18 minutes to go. Fanslow leads a huge train of cars. Lavis very content with sitting up there in second spot at the moment. Leach, Lavis, Benson, Hen, Brookfield, Dyson, and then Katia and Joe Trucker all but up 4 spots. Look at Ryan Jones. What the hell happened to him in race 1? He just sat on pit lane and thought, well, bugger it, I'll burn from the stern and I'll look the stamp and send it. He's up 14 spots in race 2, having not started race 1.
Yeah, and I've just noticed him, he's dived into the pit, so he'll be one of the first sort of faster guys in the field here, and we'll be able to find out what his pit stop time is and where he would compare to the others. But I did also want to mention that Adam Laves here in second place, he was under some pressure earlier on a couple of laps ago from the guys behind, but now he seems to be applying that pressure to Funslow. So Funslow, he's now sort of experiencing what I was experiencing in the GT3s Indy on Monday night, where you've just got a train of cars behind you and you've just got to try and keep looking forward. Unfortunately for me, it went a little bit sour because India allows the opportunity for some more passing compared to Lime Rock Park here. But Funslow, he still needs to look in that mirror, be worried about what's behind him, but still hit his marks. Is Merritt going to try and look for a move on Lays? He's going to defend that nicely. Is Adam, and he's going to hold on to second place. He's done an absolute superb defensive job at the moment in the first 10 laps so far to hold on to second place. But Merritt, he's still looking forward, and I will not be surprised if Merritt can find his way through by the end of this one.
10 laps in. It's a magnificent performance from John Merritt, isn't it? It's a masterclass. especially when you detailed earlier, difficult to execute an overtake. They've got lap traffic to contend with coming up. That could throw the cat amongst the pigeons. And Adam Funslow is controlling this beautifully as he needs to from the front, but no pressure mounting from Adam Lavis. I reckon Adam's going to be more worried about Johnny Merritt's presence right now. But when are they going to zig and zag? Who's going to zig when others zag to go down pit lane? Here's Merritt setting up Adam Lavis for the run to turn one. Couldn't get it done. Drops back in line. Oh no, here we go. What was that about Monday night? Jordan, did you panic at any stage asking for a friend, says David Kirby?
No, I didn't panic. I just, got turned. I mean, look, I felt like I had it controlled, but yeah, look, pressure was definitely there. I'm not going to deny that. The pressure was on for sure. I was probably looking more in my mirror than out of that front window. So that's the way I should have been racing. So I got to learn from that one. But I wouldn't quite call it a panic. There we go, Miller. Here we go.
Here we go.
I was waiting for him to throw his mouth on for me.
Onto the main straight we go. In goes Adam Funslow. He's the first to pull the trigger. And look at
Merritt. Oh my God.
Trying to defend John Merritt, who was nearly in the grass. Oh my goodness! I've never seen defence from Lavis quite like that. He is normally the gentleman of gentlemanly races. Have a look at this.
He is deciding to say no more gentlemanly stuff here. He's done enough gentleman stuff here at Gentleman's, and it is an absolute scrap that he is holding on now from Merritt. And to do that on the main straight, I'd like to get a look at the replay if we can on how close that ultimately was for Merritt there. But that was a close one, but it was nicely done by Laves, is now the new race leader.
Here they come, back down the main straight. Watch this again. Will he defend again? Merritt moves to the inside. Lavis moves across. Merritt zigzags, weaves left and right. Up we go, up the outside. No, he's not close enough. They've got to be worried about that lap traffic now. Lavis to turn one, leads them through. Lap traffic trying its best to get out of the road. Does so. Very nicely done.
I don't think that's who they need to be worried about. Have you noticed who's right behind Merritt?
Yeah, have a look. Andrew Dyson.
I know. So, Andrew Dyson is here.
Where the bloody hell did he come from?
No idea. He has let these guys scrap. All that's happening is with Adam's defensive. It's slowing them down. And with the other guys that have already done the pit stop, like Hen and Leach and Funslow, this might be helping them open this gap to Laves and Merritt, where Dyson has now caught up. Remember, he was 9th earlier in this race and nowhere near Merritt, when now he is on his clacker and potentially going to look for his move himself. Is Dyson going to be able to sweep this one up? Oh, Merritt into the pits now. No, he faked that.
Faked it. Benson and Katsia lured into the trap. But in they go.
On the outside into one. He's got Merritt. Oh no, that is not what Merritt needed. Dyson now up into second on track. Not a net second, remember that, but he's second on track at the moment as he now looks to Adam Laves in front. But Merritt, that is not what he needed after such an early jump on Andrew. He had a good 4 or 5 positions over him, and at that point it was really looking good for John. But now it is not the way he wanted this to go by looking at the back of the DPR racing car.
Brett's tuning in from Cape York. Hello, mate. Good to have you on board. Hope you're enjoying it, and wishing the Injectors Online Racing Stable the best while he is away. We'll see him back on grid when he's back from Cape York, no less. I mean, we've got to find a way to make these bloody sim rigs transportable, don't we? So that the boys can take them with them wherever they go. Just so that don't miss out on the show. Shame to see you in the chat and not on track, says Miller Motorsport. Agreed. You'll be saying the same thing to our mate Jordan Pianozola during the V's tomorrow night. Lavis, Dyson, Merritt, Brookfield, Jones, too soon maybe. Alani, Baldwin, Hamley, Funslow and Benson the top 10, although in my defence, Jordan was the one that alerted me to the fact that he was in the naughty corner this way. So
Yeah, I was going to say I don't rub it in, but then I was the one that alerted you to it.
100%, completely threw yourself under the bus. I would, if you'd had said nothing until turning up here tomorrow night, I wouldn't have known the wisest. So you could have saved yourself 24 hours. Lavis, Dyson, Merritt, 1, 2, and 3. Now the question is, when are they going to dive into pit lane? And because Adam Funslow's already been in and come back out, where does he factor back out into the equation here? They're not interested in going to the pit lane this time by. We're only 14 minutes in. We're well and truly in the fuel window. They can pit and stop and get home, but at the same time, they can run it a little bit deeper if they wish. Dyson to the outside.
Is he
Maybe
going to be able to
around
hold
the
it?
outside. The problem is, can he hold it through one? Lap traffic doesn't know where to go to get out of the road because they're both there trying to get through on the inside now. There's no way through. They're just going to get balked for the moment. That will probably help Adam Funslow in the interim. There they go. Good work, lap traffic. Moving out of the road. That's Kevin Wakefield, I think you'll find. No, Russell Gander. They've already got by Wakefield. And now Dyson to the outside.
Oh, that is a risky spot to try and put it, Andrew, but he keeps it. Oh, a bit of a touch with Adam. That was nearly an absolute tornado of a crash as they're still holding it side by side. Dyson doing the impossible. Is he going to get it around the outside down at the final corner on Adam Laves? I think he has for the moment, but Adam's going to try and fight this back down into turn 1 as he's under pressure from Merritt and Brookfield also getting in on this battle. Merritt nearly 3 wide into 1. Here we are.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. 3 wide at Lime Rock in the BMers. I mean, if it was the V's, understandable, but that's the BMWs, folks. 3 wide. Dyson's holding sway. Maverick. Adam Laver second. Somehow keeping John Merritt, and now Richard Brookfield at bay. Much better showing from Richard Brookfield second time round.
Still 10 minutes to go here.
Hambly, black flag. Hambly, black flag. Phil's not in contention, but he's going to have to go to pit lane.
Unfortunate for the Northwind Motorsports BMW entry in the 613. We'll see if we can maybe catch on with what happened to for Hambly's moment there. But I did want to mention, 10 minutes to go here. Dyson obviously will be looking forward as we see Laves now dive into the pits. He was one of the big names for us to look compared to Funslow. So this will be able to see where they compare, because remember the early numbers I was saying around that 5, even in the 4 second, everyone's averaging around that 5.5 second mark in the pit box. So we'll see what Adam Laves is and where Funslow lines out compared to him. Big off here in the final corner as well. That's, I think, Hen. No, maybe Hen?
No, I think that might have been Benson.
Yeah, Benson.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sorry.
No, you're right. I was trying to work it out.
Someone was around.
And
No, 2 of them.
Adams as well. Adams and Hen are off the road.
Oh, Hen, that is disappointing for him. He's 3rd in the championship at the moment. This is not what he needed after being last week's round winner at Long Beach. Being turned around in turn 1. We'll get a replay for you, ladies and gentlemen, of what happened there. But unfortunate for himself and Adams to go around. They're still at least in this race, but out of any battles they were in.
Dear oh dear, have a look at this guy, Leach 9th at the moment, trying to work his way back through the field. Tarek Alani to pit lane, top 4 yet to stop. They're all on lap 19 now. 56.009 for Andrew Dyson, that time through the fastest lap of the race so far. Here's Adam Lavis getting absolutely gobbled up at 1. Oh no!
Adam, he got away scot-free, but it was his pit exit that ruined it for everyone else. They just got caught off guard and did not know what to do, and everyone's race awareness just lacked out the window, and unfortunately it went sour there at turn 1. And just also did want to mention, Funslow has found himself in front of Adam Laves here by half a second, so it's kept in the fashion that we did see earlier on, but still to see compared to where Dyson and Merritt will come out as well out front. Sorry, my throat decided to go away for a sec as he's putting in best laps of the race at the moment.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Mate,
especially when you're in full flight. I've had that happen on so many occasions, mate. Funslow 5th, Lavis 6th. See, to verify the point, Lavis did absolutely nothing wrong there. It's just one of those unfortunate situations with where pit exit lines up with the rest of the racetrack and where the rejoin point is. Now, he's done nothing wrong because he's held his line. He's seen everybody else coming. But it's caught everybody off guard because all of a sudden they haven't got as much real estate to work with. and that's triggered what we saw at turn 1. Could more caution have been given, yielding, just holding a wider line, maybe, but that's for race control to sort out after the fact. It's just rubbed them out of the contention of a top 10 result at the moment. Hen in 12th and Adams now 13th as a result of all of that. How good are these blokes on the mic, says Andrew Neal. That's because we're saving him the hassle of trying to string sentences together while also queuing up replays for us as well. I appreciate
whenever I'm here, he doesn't like more than 3 words.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
It's the same on a Thursday night, buddy. Don't worry about that. But no, we appreciate the reinforcement, my friend.
I'm pretty sure I've stretched it out to at least 6 words now.
That's correct. Well, it's a time-consuming process. It's a work in progress, but we'll make it happen. We'll absolutely make it happen. Andrew Dyson, John Merritt, Richard Brookfield, Ryan Jones, Adam Funslow, top 5. Top 4 still not entertaining the idea of pit lane just yet. We've picked up Adam Funslow in 5th. Onto the main straight they go now at the end of lap 21. 20 minutes gone, on the cusp of about 5 laps to go. Dyson still holding sway, Merritt keeping him honest. Inseparable once again, that pair. It's been a magnificent performance to this point. The way in which they've cut their way through the field here. Down onto the main straight we go. We've got Guy Leach, James Katia. Oh, have a look at this. Guy Leach on the inside, got by Maverick Benson. Joe Baldwin holds 10th at the moment, just behind them. And Adam Lavis down on the inside of Funslow. No! Has to get back and fight to keep Katia at bay, Jordan.
Yeah, not quite there for Adam in turn 1, but Katia, look at him up in 7th place here on the back of Adam Laves and Funslow. He was not in this battle earlier on. He was a couple of spots back, and with all the pit stop that's happened, and also the defensive work by Laves on Merritt, this has brought Katia up into this battle, and potentially it's at the moment sitting in a net 3rd place, as Brookfield has also just dived into the pits as we head around the final couple of corners here. But Katia, up a great couple of spots here at the moment. Obviously down 1 from where it actually started, but in a net 3rd at the moment. This is looking really good for Katia.
John Merritt rejoins. So Richard Brookfield, I should say. Richard Brookfield rejoins for the Olek Motorsport entry. Very similar colour to Johnny Merritt tonight.
I just commentated Curse Katia.
You put the commentator's cursor right on him.
Yeah. Sorry, James, when you watch this back.
He's fallen back into the clutches of Guy Leach and Maverick Benson now. Jeff Adams unsurprisingly picked up a 5-second penalty for racing room at turn 1, that previous incident we were talking about.
Merritt's pits.
Merritt has pitted. Also, Jeff Adams is on the tow rope. Now, what's happened there? John Merritt, Ryan Jones to pit lane. Andrew Dyson goes on to complete lap 23. And he's just taking the P1SS at the moment. There is no doubt about that. Jeff Adams round at turn 1. The exit to turn 2. Unhappy on the ripple strips, and then probably hearing about the invoice from race control. He's parked up.
Yeah, unfortunate to see. Had a decent first race here at Lime Rock Park, but unfortunately, race 2 down in the bin will be a bottom of the barrel result for him, unfortunately. But we return back and see Adam Laves try and fight this with Funslow for 4th on track at the moment. Be nice to see where Dyson compares to everyone else. He's got a 22-second gap as he's just dived into the pits now.
That'll cleanse the field, Jordan. Philip Hamley copped a 44.27 second invoice for that drive-through. And that stop and hold, that's hefty around here. It puts him a lap down. John Merritt holds 2nd. Where's Dyson going to come back out into the mix of this?
He's out of his pit box. It was 3.8 in the box was Dyson. Insanely quick compared to everyone else. Merritt was 4.7. Brookfield was 5.3. And Funslow was 6 for your comparison. So Dyson nearly 2 seconds quicker than some of the other drivers in the pit box. That is insane work, and he finds himself nearly a second half in the lead here.
You just cannot compete with that. And he'll be hoping for a clear, impeded run past to the lap traffic there. I'm just trying to pick that up. Russell Gander through the back half of the circuit now. Extraordinary stuff. Dale Jeffries, Philip Hambly down 2 laps, or the better part of it. 2 laps in Jeffries' case, a lap and a half in Hambly's. Wakefield down a lap, so too Gander about to be so. Up over the hill, have a look at Adam Lavis holding on to the top 5 under relentless pressure here from James Katia, having caught back up despite that best attempt at a commentator's curse in his general direction.
He's come back into this battle here, and it'll be nice to see what he can do with. But don't forget Adam Laves and his defensive work. So white flag we go, and I was just going to say Adam Laves and his defensive work was already insane in this race to John Merritt. He was all over the track, holding his ground, making that BMW as wide as he could make it, and he's going to do it again here on the white flag. And I think Katia will struggle to find a way through.
Richard King, all over the place at the moment. 2 wheels in the grass, but he gets it back in the right direction and presses on. He's under pressure from Greg Heaney, though. Adam Lavis, James Katia, and Adam Funslow. Funslow down -1 in this race on count back. Richard Brookfield up 5, John Merritt up 7, Andrew Dyson up 9. No real surprise. 1, 2, and 3 in the first race, coming home in exactly the same order in the second race. Dyson does the double in Connecticut. Another clinical performance. There's a reason why he's the championship favourite at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. In for second was Merritt, third for Brookfield, Dyson, Funslow, Lavis, Katia, Benson, Guy Leach, Ryan Jones up 16 spots, and Joe Baldwin rounded out the top 10 +4. Very nicely done, and that was as lively and as exciting as we expected it to be, but nowhere near as carnage-riddled as Joe Baldwin was predicting it to be so.
No, unfortunately not. But
well,
yeah,
I think Racing Control saying very fortunately, Jordan.
Well, yeah, fortunately for them, but unfortunately for other people.
Correct, yes. For the amusement of others, it was not as chaotic as we were expecting. We'll save that for tomorrow night in the V's. That'll be right.
Correct. We will definitely see that in the V's, and I'm excited to watch that for the first time. But Ryan Jones, did want to mention him, up 16 spots in race 2 here, finishing in 9th place overall. He's only rocked up for 2 rounds so far this season, had 3 heat races, a third and 2 seconds. They were at Road America and Oran Park, so unfortunately couldn't keep the track of a top 3 result. But obviously the fast pace he definitely has. But it was really nice to see him also move up 16 spots and show up again here tonight after missing out at Long Beach.
Very, very good stuff. Nice calling from you. You've been keeping the seat very, very warm over the last couple of weeks, and I trust you'll do so again for me next Wednesday night, mate. Very nicely done. Good luck in the Supercar as well. We know you're about to skip out of here and go and do some laps at Qualcomm and put a lap down in qualifying. So thank you for that. I would argue that when drop rounds come into the equation, Dyson drops to 0, so it's all of a sudden going to look very, very fine and rosy for him.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see what the drop points definitely have to say for everyone in the championship. Obviously, Dyson, his points will be affected by 2 98-point rounds by looking at the standings at the moment, and that was rounds 2 and round 6 for him at Okayama and Long Beach. The other rounds were he was the outright winner, and he was here again tonight. So I think he's still the favourite for the championship, but I don't think the drop points will really be affecting him so much. But it was good for Merritt to get back up into second here in race 2, because he didn't show up for the last 2 rounds. So those 2 rounds they're his drop rounds for the season. So it was crucial for him to get up into a high scoring position and up into second place. It was really nicely done there for Merritt.
Very nicely done from you, Jordan. Appreciate your effort throughout the course of the evening. Go and enjoy the Supercar, mate. Hopefully no incidents.
Oh, thank you. I'll try and keep it out the wall, but yeah, Coronado, or Qualcomm as we also know it by, is one hell of a circuit, and you'll definitely see it here on stream a little bit later on with your lovely Zach leading us through that race. So I'll catch you all later on, everyone else, during the week, maybe in a post-race interview even later tonight. I'll find out, and I'll try my luck, but we'll see. It's a street circuit, so of course anything can happen. But yeah, thanks for that, and I'll catch you all later.
And again, thank you, mate. Appreciate the
Andrew.
I've got to get it in there.
I appreciate the fact, sincerely, and I said it off on air, I'll say it on air. Thanks for keeping the seat warm the last few weeks, mate. It's been great, I think, for everybody else at home to have an extra voice to, a voice that isn't mine, I should say, to listen to on a Wednesday night. So welcome back anytime, and we're looking forward to having you here tomorrow night for a rarity. Someone having something to say in a Formula V race. It's it's very difficult to get a word in there, but I'm sure you'll do your best.
I'll try. I mean, obviously, with you, it's very hard to get a word in. No. But I know Formula V's is basically your baby of commentating here at GSRC. So it'll be very hard to get a word in there. But I'm excited to see what kicks off at VIR.
Absolutely, mate. Thank you for that. We'll see you at the end of the Supercar race. We'll push on and have a chat with Andrew Dyson and John Merritt now. Jordan Pianazzola lining up in the Supercars, which are coming your way 8:45 Eastern Standard Time here on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Didn't YouTube likes rock and roll throughout the course of the evening? My goodness, how good was that? John, very hard to find a way by when he puts in a faultless drive like that.
Yeah, Dyso, just too good tonight. So I thought race 2 I had enough track position, but I just couldn't break through to get that lead and consolidate. So, but no, it's good to be back.
Dyso, you took your time working your way through the field in race 2, but you eventually managed to do what was required to, one, reel these blokes in, B, outrun them on fuel strat. You were the last of the stoppers, and then bring it on home. And unsurprisingly, you go in, and good boy, Andrew, for running the stream. So Jordan's now throwing shade from the comments section. I love it. But Dyso, almost a second quicker on pit lane than anybody else. You come out with a 1.3 second advantage. You end up winning by 0.9. Just an extraordinary run in that race. So the first race, pretty faultless. Not much to take away from that. Talk us through the challenges of working back through the field in the second, because it was tough going for the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, it was, man. But first of all, the first race I was sweating, don't worry, man. Like, John was right there, and there was a few times he was real close, but he just got a little tight, especially off the last corner, man, it looked like to me. So Dirty-A was probably not helping, and I found out about it in the second race. So it was pretty hard to follow. Everyone was, if they're hitting apexes, you couldn't get your nose out in the air. So it was really hard to get some clean air on the nose and get some front grip. But yeah, man, there's a whole lot happening. But my main focus was to not smash into anyone. I think definitely last week, I smashed into a former club president and killed him out of the race. So that wasn't ideal. And that was at the forefront of my mind. I didn't want to do it again. So, yeah, just tried to be as passionate as I could. Although there was a few times there it nearly went a bit pear-shaped. But my other focus was to not get a 1X. So I was really keen on not getting any 1Xs. Yeah.
The club back patting goes on in the comments section, ladies and gentlemen. So there's 3 or 4 different storylines we're following here tonight, but there was actually some racing out there on the circuit. Dyso, I know you said about race 1, you're sweating, but you would enjoy that pressure cooker situation, I'm sure, when you look at the easy wins you've had throughout the course of the season. It can get a little bit lonely out there at times, but to go toe-to-toe with John, to know that you've got to be on your game, to know that you can't afford a cough or a slip or a trip because he'd be able to pounce, that probably brings out the best in you, arguably.
Well, yeah, I mean, you really just got to focus on hitting your marks, hitting your lines, and just making apexes and getting good exits. Because the moment you don't, you're under pressure. So, especially when you're like the car behind you, like John's only like 1, 2, 3 tenths behind, it doesn't take much. So yeah, you really got to focus on hitting your marks as best you can.
Indeed. All right, let's throw it in John's direction, because you had a good look at the rear end of Dyso's BMW there throughout the majority of race 1, mate. We can't help but notice that these cars for whatever reason, the slipstream's just not as effective as it is in a wide variety of other different race cars. So that brings the onus back on racecraft, isn't it, when you can't do anything about the car at your disposal to benefit from the slipstream that you otherwise would in, say, a Formula V?
Yeah, 100%, Zach. I think, race one was really good. I think I was gaining a slight bit in 1 2 some laps, but Daiso's right. You got to the back of the track there with a little bit more pace and no air on the nose, especially at the last turn there, made it hard to gain anything or get into the draft for that matter. You just hit at 0.5, 0.6 and couldn't do much about it.
Very, very nicely done. Daiso, from your standpoint, another round win, another sweep. I'm just having a look at the stats here. So that's round wins in round 3, round 4, round 5, and now round 7 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins throughout the course of the campaign. And the fact that the drop round's coming to the equation tonight, and Andrew Dyson has a drop round of 0 next to his name, it's lining up quite nicely for you to go out there and finish the job over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, the races have been going good, man. I've been on a good run, obviously, except for last week, and I still had a good run. I just smashed it. I smashed Joe, so it wasn't great. But just need to keep having some good runs, and we'll see where we shake out. But I don't really think about that. It's just one race at a time, and have some good races along the way.
John, there must have come a point there in race 2 where you thought, hang on, I'm in a little bit of trouble here because, again, you made the better of the starts. You're up really close to Adam Funslow and Adam Lavis before we even got to the pit lane sequence, and then Daiso kind of lurked from nowhere and caught everybody by surprise, not least of all me in central commentary, because we were so absorbed by the battle between you and the 2 Adams. Just how difficult, so to paint the picture for me, how easy was it to work your way up to 3rd, and then how difficult was it to clear the 2 Adams who in their own right didn't put a foot wrong either? Yeah,
I think those first 3 or so laps I got pretty lucky, as you can in traffic, and then once I got to Mr. Lavis, whether he was trying to save fuel, but same issue at that last turn, you get a run, but he was holding the white line. I really needed to get by and consolidate a second or more, and I'd probably put a lap or so too much fuel in, probably was the effect to the commentary question there on the fuel. Might be 0.4 or 0.5 in the pit stop, I'd say. So, it was really needing to gap at him and sort of bridge the gap or maintain a gap to Andrew, which I wasn't able to do. So.
Daiso, thoughts on next week, Suzuka? Now, I'm not sure exactly what the go is here because our points matrix had this listed as a 1 race round tonight, so I'm not sure if next week's sprint round or whether we're going back to single. I don't know. I'll have to Woodsy will have to talk to Lavis and sort that one out because there was a bit of confusion. Lavis had it one way, Woodsy had it the other, so we were a little bit surprised. We get into race 1 and we're like, hang on, it's only 15 minutes because all of our paperwork at our end said otherwise. How do you feel about Suzuka and continuing this form over into the only Asian stop on the tour?
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. It's some of the best tracks in the world are from Asia, and Suzuka is one of the best. So yeah, pretty happy to go to Suzuka. I think it'd actually be a great track for these cars because you've got the really big, long uphill back straight where good exits are really important. And if you don't get one, you're going to be struggling all the way up the hill there. Even though these cars don't draft real well, they're all pretty slippery and you don't get a big advantage from following. I think up the big hill there will be definitely some passing going on. So I think that'll be good. Look forward to that. And obviously just being a really good track, it should be fun. One of the best in the world, I reckon.
I must apologise. I've been a little bit distracted because, as you know, gentlemen, the world's imploding around the events unfolding surrounding the Vettel Auto Club Winter Motor Raceway and the Australian Autosport Alliance at the moment. And someone, because we've got some very funny, very clever, very wicked-minded people on social media, someone's just slid into my inbox a photo of. Remember Miley Cyrus, I think it was, and the song Wrecking Ball? They've taken Miley's head off and put Marcus Ambrose's on, and that has just sent me. It is one of the funnier things I've seen today, and there have been some funny things, trust me. John, your thoughts on Suzuka, please?
Yeah, cracking track. Agree with Andrew. Yeah, it's a ripper. So should be good racing. If you can get onto that back straight, maybe the draft will come into a little bit of play. It's a long run there.
Indeed it will. Although, as we say, the draft hasn't been as big a selling point as we thought it would otherwise be, or maybe we would have hoped it would have been. It's interesting though, because you guys went out there and did what you needed to do in race 2. We weren't sure how it was going to go from a point of overtaking. There was certainly a lot more in race 2 than what there was race 1. And done so quite calmly and quite smoothly and cleanly, with the exception of one incident at turn 1 where Jeff Adams wore an invoice for that. So very good round, very good racing, and really, to be fair, boys, not too many circuits on this tour better than Lime Rock. It's one of the underrated gems of the world. It might be short in length, but it's rich in character and legend. It's one of our absolute favourites, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. One of the originals.
That's exactly right. Daiso, where does Lime Rock rate for you?
Man, I think Lime Rock, so my memory of Lime Rock way back in the day, it must be like 2013, I'm playing on a laptop, and I've got an HDMI from my laptop to my TV, and I've got a Fanatec wheelbase on an ironing board in front of my couch, so it was adjustable. And I jumped into a race, and there was Chaz Mostert. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how cool is this? The race with Chaz Mostert. Anyway, I think I crashed on the first lap, as you do in MX-5s, but that's my memory of Lime Rock. It's been around for a long time. Great track.
MX-5 and Spec Racer Fords.
Spec Racer Fords, you'll have to elaborate on that one. Actually, I want to come back to that on screen now, that moment with you and Adam Lavis in a moment, John. But Spec Racer Fords, what are we talking about? How far, just for those that are new to the iRacing universe, and by which I mean this decade, like me and many others, what are we talking about?
Oh, that was sort of 2010 to 13, I think. The Spec Racer was sort of a standard inclusion, Zach.
All right, okay. Did you have much of a run in those at all, Daiso?
I didn't, man. But I would like to change the subject just quickly. I mean, I know you're having a great laugh with all this AASA stuff, but
yes.
Taking it away from the grassroots stuff and turn it over to the also they think well appended series of supercars.
Yes.
Geez, I'm having a great laugh at that whole Kai Allen thing this week, and Groves and supercars getting their pants pulled down.
Yeah, aren't we? But aren't supercars lucky that the other implosion is much bigger at the moment? Otherwise, the heat would firmly be on them. And this is only on the back of the Red Bull drama with what was it, the restrictor for Will Brown? I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. It has been a very strange sort of turbulent year in motorsport. But you guys will no doubt be keeping one eye on that this weekend when they're at QR.
I'm not huge on it. I mean, I love these funny things that happen more than anything. I don't watch the racing too much.
Fair, John. What's in your viewing guide this weekend? Formula One's back, and obviously the supercars are as well.
Oh, mate, I watch a bit of supercars, but it's not really the flavour anymore. I think it's lost its lustre per the some of these current things. They're probably, as you said, saved by the AASA stuff at the moment, but. I don't think it's the series it once was. F1 will be on the menu for sure.
Although that being said, that's been a bit of a tough watch throughout the course of this year at various points too. NASCAR will be good this weekend. It's just good because Lee Diffie's back in commentary. And then IndyCar back this weekend as well. There will be a bit of interest in that Washington, D.C. street race, being that it is the 250th anniversary of the United States and all that sort of stuff, all those birthday celebrations continuing on. Whether that's the first of, a regular sort of venture for IndyCar going forward, or whether or not it is just literally a one-off. So all eyes on that Monday morning at 1:30 a.m. Very nicely done. John, do we see you back in the V's tomorrow night or not?
Yeah, mate, back in the country, so we'll try and make it tomorrow night for crack.
Now that fills in the gap. We were wondering what had gone on there, where Hot Lap had disappeared to. So can you still win the championship from here?
Oh, I don't think so, mate. I think I've missed 3 rounds thus far, so there'd be a miracle required. But
miracles happen.
We'll get in and give it a crack anyway for the remainder.
Miracles happen. Some of us have been seeing this downfall of the AASA coming for some time. We were starting to lose hope, but miracles happen. Anyway, have I made... No. We're going to a break. Terrific to see you guys in here. Is there anyone that you would like to thank before I let you go? Daiso.
Righto. I'll say thanks to all the boys over at DPR Racing. Thanks to you guys for putting this on. And, thanks to Monster Energy for putting Oscar Piastri on the back of Monster cans. It's a nice touch. I remember they used to do that for missing kids on the back of milk cartons, so that's nice. Hopefully we find him soon. Hopefully Oscar just finds a car that's going to, vault him up the order into World Championship contention at some point. He was there last year, and then still McLaren found a way to trip over their own feet and nearly blow it for both of them. Very nicely done. My phone is going off deluxe tonight. You could only imagine. As I say, I don't know if you boys saw it, but the latest piece in the puzzle is that Auto Action have done a big deep dive into the court proceedings that await the AASA and the Benalla Auto Club. That's worth a read. Make sure you make a coffee before you start that. John, who would you like to thank, please?
Ditto, mate, and the Pulse Melbourne Lexus guys, Cedo for a ripping new livery, and Daiso for the good racing.
All right, very nice. It was terrific racing from you, pair. John, the one thing I'm of most interest here in having a look at analysing when we see the drop rounds come into the effect, because obviously Adam's jumped into the Supercar, so he's not updating the points matrix as we go, as you know. That'll happen at the end of the broadcast tonight. Once we have a look at the bigger picture here, we see that you were there in 9th place in this series coming into this round, but you are dropping 2 rounds of 0. So I expect you to vault up the order and be right there with Adam Funslow and Andrew Dyson. Game on.
Might play myself in. So hopefully we'll have a good scrap to the end of the season.
But you know exactly what that's like, right? When you come in, Dyso's got 1 fallback, but you've got none. You can't afford to trip up over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think I had a poor round at Road America, so that might cost me. But hopefully that evens out in the next couple.
Back in business nonetheless. Daiso will be the man to beat, though.
Yeah, well, hopefully it doesn't even out in that I don't have a bad race. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how we go.
Wishing you luck, Daiso.
How good. Hey, boys, terrific to have your company. Thank you for jumping on in here. We've got the Supercars out on circuit for their qualifying session. We'll go and have a look at that, and we'll catch up with you guys, hopefully in your case, John, tomorrow night, and Daiso, Friday night for GT1, yeah?
Yeah, pretty keen. Don't know what track it is, but we'll work it out.
Road America.
Should be good. Oh, very good. That's right. We spoke about that, didn't we? Yeah,
we
great
did.
Track. Good track.
We absolutely did. Doubleheader Friday night Motorsport, Road America. Cannot wait for that. John, tomorrow night, VIR North. Looking forward to seeing you there. Enjoy the rest of your night, gentlemen.
Thanks, Zach.
Cheers.
Hang about if you want, because we've got a few minutes here in which we're going to jump off air. Once the pictures are in ready for you, well, Dyso's already gone. Once the pictures are in and ready for you from the Qualcomm circuit in San Diego at the Naval base there, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see qualifying on the screen. We'll pick up the commentary a couple of minutes from home in that session to update you on the championship settings and what the lay of the land is for the night ahead. It's a brand new playground for the Trophi.AI Supercars, and it's coming your way next. These are the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. This is Wednesday Night Motorsport, live, exclusive and free wherever you're tuning in all around Australia or indeed the world. It is 24 minutes to 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 24 to 7 on the West Coast, 24 to 11 in New Zealand, and we're here with thanks to Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, merch.tgsrci.com, Trophi.AI and Flash Graphics. We're back with more, and the Supercars on a street circuit yet again. They're getting good at this in just a few moments. to it. These are the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. This is Wednesday Night Motorsport and a night of intrigue and amusement for all and sundry. Amusement because, as I said off the top, a lot of us, deep diving into the Auto Action article that went live on the website just before we got on air with regards to the absolute storm that's unfolding in real world Australian motorsport right now. An absolute interest and intrigue from a sim racing standpoint because we're here at the Qualcomm circuit, Coronado, Naval Base, San Diego, street racing, ladies and gentlemen, on a Wednesday night for the latest round of the Trophi.AI Supercar Series. Now, it's important to note, we've got the Trophi.AI Supercar Series here ready to rock and roll. And it looks as though, thankfully, we haven't been stitched up with this one nearly. We're going racing for 40 minutes. Flag to flag, 40 minutes. No surprise sprint rounds here. The development series at the moment being led by a good mate, Jordan Pianazzola. I hope you haven't put the mocker on him. I really hope you haven't. 543. Jamie Fleming on 542. Jeff Adams, 534. Yep, 9 points covers the top three at the moment. And two of them missing out on the second race last week. Daniel Snedden picked up a win last week. Round Honours went his way. He's fourth, 517, 514 for Max Carroll. Remember, all of that's going to look very different at the end of the night because the drop rounds come into the equation. Elite split. Alex DeZicker, 609, has a near 50-point advantage, 48 in fact on Ryan Nielsen. Ryan Barber, 553, Sean Rigby, 551, and Andy Barber, 527. Will Buchanan sits there on 516, Wade Sheedy, 505. Forget about the rest. There's the circuit, 5.41 kilometres, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, can we just go back to that track map, please, Nearly? 5.41 kilometres. This is our first look at it on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. 38 degrees, 32 degrees the track temp, 24 the ambient, 60% humidity, partly cloudy conditions through at 10 o'clock in the morning local server time, 5 kilometre an hour winds in a mostly westerly direction. That'll do. Big circuit. 5.4 kilometres, Will Buchanan, Tyson Broad, Jason Douglas, Jake Slade, Alex Tzikis, Ryan Barber, Dylan Walker, Andy Barber, Sean Rigby and Ross Amor, the top 10 on your grid there, ladies and gentlemen. It's scrolling across the top of your screen at the moment, so make a note of that. Daniel Snedden, Jamie Fleming, from Rose 6, remembering that they are the top two in the dev split. Jordan Pianazzola's behind them alongside Leslie Reeves. Now, thank you to Jordan for the phonetic pronunciation lesson that he gave me yesterday. Dominic Caminiti. I struggled with that name on Monday night big time. Dominic Caminiti is starting there in 15th alongside Adam Lavis, Tom Pritchard, Chase McMillan from the 9th row of the grid, Jack Dent and Drew Collins at 10th row, Mac Carroll, Mitchell Noble, Jeff Adams, Jackson Sufong, Joe De La Rosa, David Uni, Wade Sheedy, Aaron Bryan, Nathan Michael and Richard King make up the field. No time set for Jacob McIntyre, Adam Hayne, Glenn Arnott or Hayden Watson. I think Arnott's in race control. Yes, he is. No Hayden Watson, no Adam Hayne. Unknown entity, this one, Andrew Neal. I'm looking forward to this, mate. It's always exciting when we go street racing, more so with the level of intrigue around this one because we know it's bumpy. We know it's going to try a spanner in the mix. It's a new playground, so there'll be someone that rises to the occasion. There will be someone that trips up. This is street racing like we've never seen it before on a platform of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. For the first time, we go racing at the Coronado Naval Base in San Diego. Narrow racetrack, tight, even start. Tzikis back there in 6th spot, trying to make his way through. Got passed by Ryan Barber on the opening lap on the run towards the second quarter. We go. Will Buchanan converts beautifully off the line. Tyson Broad, Jason Douglas, Jake Slade, Ryan Barber, the top 5. It's interesting, though, because we know a couple of these guys are backing up after the Supercar 1000 on Sunday. Joel and Hanson watching JD. With some JD. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Our first look at the circuit proper, Andrew Neal. It looks to be an absolute beauty, but by gee, when you look at the difficulty meter, the challenging nature of this circuit, it's probably one of the more difficult ones they'll challenge or tackle this season, probably in the extreme direction, I would hazard a guess. It's not as tight as, say, a Long Beach or a Chicago, but it's still a concrete canyon.
Still a concrete canyon, Zach, and full of humps, bumps, and jumps.
Absolutely it is. Through they go. Oh, look at this, side by side, the elbows are out. Someone's left some bodywork behind. And they're wide. And it's so uneven. Some parts of the circuit narrow, others really wide and free-flowing. A lot of real estate in some parts of the circuit to work with. You'll see some different racing lines. And then very one-line groove sort of stuff in different aspects of the circuit as well. Hello to Brooksy tuning in. Good start by Will and Jake. I agree. Keep it up indeed. Keep the engine running and pointing in the right direction. Will Buchanan has made a good start, but this is what I'm talking about. You can barely go too wide through there, and look at that, bang. If you can barely go too wide, you cannot go 3. One lap gone. Will Buchanan, great start. 2 minutes 14. So the laps will be over the 2 minute mark tonight. It means we're probably looking at only 19 to 20 laps here. Once we get up to full speed, we'll get a better idea of what the relative lap times are. 2:14.242 that first lap through. So if I'm a gambling man, I'm only banking on 19 to 20 laps, ladies and gentlemen, in a 40-minute race. And we will have a compulsory splash and dash transit of the pit lane as well. Will Buchanan, beautiful start. Tyson Broad. Keep your eyes on Alex Tzikis and Ryan Barber. They're the only change in the top 7 at the moment in the running order. And Sean Rigby and Andy Barber have swapped places as well. So only 2 changes in the top 10, plus 1, minus 1. Ross Amor and Daniel Snedden. Both positions 10 and 11 at the moment. Snedden remains the leader of the Dev split. Clean and through we go. 2:14.242. Buchanan, Broad, Douglas, Slade and Barber. I was going to say, our mate Harry Denbrinker not out on track this week either. If he was available, we would have had him in the commentary box, I'm sure. Oh, look at this. They're still throwing shade. So even though the serial pests that have been talking about whose birthday it is, etc., they're all in the car now doing their thing. And now we've got people taking over, picking up the baton and running with it. Oh dear, it's going to be a long night. Buchanan under pressure from Broad. 2 guys that have been very well acquainted with supercars over the course of the last 2 weeks. The end of the second lap. To the left-hander, back around onto the main straight through the right-handers. They'll go. And then back left to the pit lane entry point. They fly through the last corner. They come onto the main straight. The pit lane's almost wider than the actual main straight. Since when was that normal? Artie Robin is tuning in to cheer on Jace. Good to have everybody tuning in, cheering everybody on. Blame Mr. Steadden and Mr. Bannock. Yeah, okay. So Johnny's encouraging it too, is he, Brooksy? Okay, copy that. Thank you. Right, let's have a look at this. Broad down the inside. Broad down the inside of Will Buchanan, if you don't mind. Side by side and jaw rubbing. We're only 5 minutes into this thing. It's invited Douglas and Slade into the mix as well. Have a look at Broad around the outside. The move for the lead is on. Will's on the inside running as they head up through that next sequence of corners to the braking zone, but Broad will have the inside line when they get up to the right-hander. Oh, very well done. That was some good gloves off racing. And look at Jason Douglas and Jake Slade with the best seat in their house watching on. They all make it through. 6 minutes gone here at the Coronado Street Circuit. This is the great thing about unknown entities. I mean, yep, as I said in the opener, Andrew, extremely difficult circuit to try and wrap your head around. not going to be one that you master on the opening night, but these four have taken to it okay. They're the benchmark at the moment. I'll be interested to hear what the feedback is with regards to how bumpy it is out there, because when it first launched on the iRacing server, that was one of the first things people commented about. But it looks like a hell of a lot of fun in this. In saying all of that, it looks as though it's been a good addition to the iRacing universe.
Back these front four are given an absolute masterclass out there. I'd hate to know how many laps they've done around Qualcomm since it's launched on iRacing.
They've done really well. It's been good to watch so far. Tyson Broad, Will Buchanan, Jason Douglas, Jake Slade, Ryan Barber, Dylan Walker, Alex Tzikis, Ross Amor. Daniel Snedden and Jamie Fleming have moved up to 9th and 10th. Now, this is after Andy Barber's had a run in. Oh, no. No. Bang into the wall. Oh, bad luck, boys. Bad luck. Andy Barber down 12 spots. Even worse for Sean Rigby down 21. And that was that incident that you just saw on your screen for those guys.
Looking too well.
Jordan Pianazzola apparently missing a front end as well. Let's have a look at this. So the action has now taken off behind the lead battle. He's gone too deep into the corner. Goodbye. And he'll come out of there missing. No, he's still got the front end. So it's obviously fallen off after the fact. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's in all sorts of trouble. He's going to have to link that one back to pit lane, I think. Joe De La Rosa on pit road at the moment. Adam Hayne joined from pit lane, has already moved up to 24th place. Sean Rigby stopped on lap 2. So did Richard King and Nathan Michael. McIntyre and De La Rosa on pit road right now. Broad still holds up Buchanan at the front. Oh, boy. Plenty to sink your teeth into in the early stages.
I'm looking to a big GT3 race here at some stage. Looks like a good fun track.
Is there a replay of Jackson? So that might be Jackson Sufong that they're talking about. I'm just wondering. Yeah, he's down in 25th at the moment. Let's have a look. And this was turn 1-2, was it? Oh, ugly. 3-2 didn't go. Sufong got left behind. McIntyre still sits on pit road. Oh, hang on. Did McIntyre pick up a black flag penalty? Or is he on the tow rope? Interesting. Potentially a penalty there for McIntyre. Pit lane entry. Always practice your pit lane entries. So glad GT3 don't handle like a boat unlike these things. Yes, says David Kirby. I reckon a GT3 round here would be ace. Absolutely fantastic. Compulsory viewing, especially in invert one. Great racing so far in the supercars, and yet again, two benchmarks of the series. There they are. Tyson Broad, the Chev, Will Buchanan, the Ford, sliding through. Jason Douglas has been impressive this season. Great to see Jake Slade back out there having a run around as well. Back hopefully on a regular basis. And Joel and Hansen already conceding defeat on this one if it becomes a stop on the GT3 tour. He reckons he'll need a drop round or a third one. Here's Judd De La Rosa's incident. Oh no. Oh no. Did he not have a break? Have the brakes gone, Joe? Is that a brake failure? Or has he reached for the wrong pedal?
He cannot even blame what I did for Monday night. I had my ABS accidentally set on 12, so hit the brakes and I just drove straight through every corner. Hadn't realised for 3 laps.
Oh, that is brilliant. So, go and like. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I don't normally do public endorsements on air, but if you've been following the story emerging behind the scenes at the moment, or unfolding behind the scenes at the moment, go and like Graphics Design Intern on Instagram. They're currently running a poll. I won't divulge the info of the poll at the moment. Go and like Graphics Design Intern on Instagram and see for yourself. That is piss funny. And I know I shouldn't say that at this time of the night because we're not clear of 7:30 on the West Coast, but that's the only way to describe it. It is brilliant. Their work all day has been top shelf, phenomenal. There's Jack Dent off the road, unfortunately. Tyson Broad, Will Buchanan, Jason Douglas, Jake Slade, Dylan Walker. The top 5, Ryan Barber, Alex Tzidikis. This is Richard King on replay. Just running out of brakes.
Tell you what, the bumper track's really pulling some of them up on their brakes.
And this is the point, isn't it? It's as soon as you get uneasy on one of those bumps, you may as well be throwing some grass under the car. It just unsettles and upsets the whole thing, and trying to pull it up becomes even more difficult.
Wait until we get flat spots modded in iRacing, Zach.
Yes, correct. Ray Douglas, the king of Ballarat. I assume we've got Ray tuning in to cheer on Jace tonight. It's ironic that we're talking about parts of Victoria when all the rubbish that we've been divulging has been out of northeastern Victoria and out of Benalla and that area, respectively. Surrounding suburbs including Wangaratta and Shepparton. They're just up the road, of course, Albury and Wodonga. Uni, the 28th place, David Uni, has a black flag. Except for the weather, says Miller Motorsport. And Joel Hansen is off to Ballarat this weekend. I'm not going anywhere. It's a very quiet weekend in Ipswich for me. I do have a function to attend. We're going and having a few drinks and karaoke and whatever else on Saturday night for a mate's birthday. But then I'm here. I'm here on Sunday. Feet up on the lounge, watch the second day of the second test between Australia and Bangladesh. And how exciting will that be on the back of Australia completely and utterly butchering the first. Round onto the main straight, we're right on board with Tyson Broad. Let's stay with this to give everybody an idea of the narrow nature of this racetrack in some parts and the difficulty of it all the way through the 5.4 kilometre lap. Broad now doing it easy. He's got Buchanan for company. They've checked out. They're 1.2 seconds clear of Jason Douglas, who's got 3 seconds on Jake Slade. Dylan Walker is clear of Ryan Barber, who's got Alex Tzidikis for company. Ross Amor, Daniel Snedden and Mitch Noble make up the top 10. Between Ross Amor and Daniel Snedden is 14 seconds. That's the difference between... Oh, no. Into pit lane comes Leslie Reeves. Mitch Noble's just got by Daniel Snedden. Mitch Noble's gone to the lead of the Dev split. We stay with Tyson Broad. We'll keep that up for you. I'm just going to update you on what's going on the totem pole because that was for the lead. That was important to note. Mitch Noble going to 9th overall because that was for the lead in the Dev split. There's a part of this racetrack here where it narrows up to like a one-line groove. I think we've already been through it. Here we go. Actually, this is it here. This is it here. Have a look at it. Like it reminds you, as someone who lives near one and gets frustrated by it daily, it reminds you of a bloody cul-de-sac where if you parked a car on the left and right-hand side of the road, you can't get through. To the right-hander. See, that's more like it, wide open spaces, a little bit of room to breathe. I love that stuff. But everywhere you look, just concrete. Very successful NASCAR race this season. Whether or not we see it again next season, wait for the release of the NASCAR Cup calendar in due course. Round to the left. Whoa, look at that. The reason why Broad was all over the place and out of shape going through that was because Will Buchanan's throwing it down the inside. What about that from Will? And look at Jason Douglas throwing his hat into the ring as well. Buchanan's going to lead them through. Lead change number 2 of the night. I wondered why we saw Tyson Broad going deep into the corner and wide off. Next minute, we got a whiff of Will Buchanan's presence up on the inside. And Broad swing the steering wheel to try and get it back going in the right direction and not lose too much time to Will Buchanan. But Buchanan leads once more. It's just a very bumpy track. Just a very bumpy track. Douglas sits there third, nibbling at the heels of these two. When it all goes belly up, he'll be there to pounce. If it all goes belly up. It's funny, isn't it? No sooner do I talk about the presence of one Den Brinker, who did a nice job in here last week, filling in for me, I might add. And I've just had a follow from Den Brink on Instagram. So welcome aboard, mate. Good to have you on. And we'll catch up throughout the course of the rest of the season. So Naval to P8, Lavis to P9, Caminiti to 10, McMillan to 11. Now, the reason why that's important is because pit stops are playing out, and you can see that on the left-hand side of your screen. Quite a few pit stops. Jake Slade's already been in. And have a look at Slady. Slady went in for 0.18 of a second. Literally, 0.18 of a second. In and out again. Oh, I would hope that's a misreading of the pit timer, based on the other stops I'm seeing, but Slady has only gone in for 0.18. And if that is a muck-up on his part, then that takes him out of contention tonight as well. Remembering that he was keeping Douglas company there for a while. Keep your eyes on this. This is the Jake Slade pit stop. Pulled up. Oh, it is a misreading on our part. That's an absolute misreading on our timing screen. He's back out there, and he's down in position number 13. But he's 42 seconds off the pace, so something's gone awry there, I think. Maybe not, because it is a long pit lane. Remember, it is a long pit lane, so the transit time is something you've got to consider as well. And I don't know what the pit lane speed is, quite frankly. So that would be a contributing factor as well. So Buchanan back to the front. There's Adam Hayne, round onto the main straight, he'll come. And Slade's back in. Slade is back in. Oh dear. Goodbye, Jake Slade. Despite the fact that he had the fastest lap of the race, 209.197, you can put a line through him this time. Oh dear. Oh dear. Drop rounds in the series, there are 2 of those. Hello, Jet Murray, good evening to you. And thanks to Brooksy for jumping on that immediately. The joys of you lot being in the chat thread. Being able to pounce on that before we even see the comments on screen. There is Mitch Noble, 7th at the moment, leader of the open split, the dev split in this series. Elite and open racing tomorrow night from the Porsche Cup 40 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club from the Interlagos circuit in Brazil, straight after Formula V. Big doubleheader tomorrow night, a full night of sprint racing, looking forward to that. Back we go to Jason Douglas. And he has got by Will Buchanan. Now that's interesting. That is important to note. Douglas has gone to 2nd. Buchanan falls back to 3rd. Now was there something go wrong for Buchanan, or was Douglas just eager to pull the trigger and make the move? Douglas to 2nd. Out in pursuit of Broad. What a story this would be. Punching it with the heavyweights. Oh, Buchanan was wide. That's why. Buchanan was wide. Now, did he smack the wall? Dylan Walker's in on pit road. Dylan Walker's in on pit road. These lot are continuing on. Dylan Walker's on pit road. We started lap 10, and Will Buchanan has clouded the wall. Advantage Tyson Broad, lead change number 3 of the race. Advantage Jace Douglas. That's the highest he's been all night so far. Oh boy, Douglas and Amor to pit road. 9.63 seconds, Dylan Walker was stationary, and yeah, it is a fairly substantial hold and transit of the lane there at the Qualcomm circuit. Hype train for Jason. Yeah, there is absolutely a hype train in the house for Jason. A lot of support for him tonight. McMillan and Dent, they're in position number 13 and 14. This would be, I mean, we won't leak in anybody's pockets here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We try not to anyway. But the reality of the matter is, Douglas to go punch for punch with Broad and Buchanan would be an enormous moment for him in this series. It would be a feather in his cap and a real sign of the improvement we've seen from him in the supercar. Never had a better opportunity to take them on them right now, but the margin is getting away from him. So Broad's broken clear to the tune of 1.5. There is Douglas around the outside of lap traffic. Round they come once more. Magnificent scenes from the San Diego Naval Base in Coronado.
Oh, you what?
True
What an
Broadway.
amazing looking track.
It's awesome, isn't it? It is awesome. In they come. In they come. Critical lap is now. Buchanan's in. Douglas is in. Broad leads them in. Dylan Walker is our reference point, chasing Adam Lavis at the moment. Lavis and Noble yet to stop. We are through 10 laps. We're through 22 minutes. Oh no, Ryan Barber. Ryan Barber's picked up a black flag on pit entry. Ryan Barber will be out of contention after that. Unbelievable. Put a line through, he's not. It's done. It is absolutely done. Really unfortunate. I'll wait for it to end. But actually, can we get the onboard version of that, Andrew, just to see where the control line was? Because I reckon, as you said there, he struggled to pull it up. And I reckon, as a result of that, either he's been slugged for an unsafe pit entry because of that moment, or the control line was before that point. So we need to go back a little bit further, if we can. Let's have a look at this. As he made his way in, stay with that shot. That's perfect. Let's follow him into pit lane. Let's see if we can see the control line together, folks. Oh yeah, the control line's there. And as you can see, he's locking it up, trying to pull it up. Yeah. So you can see that where the control line was, it was before the corner, so that's what brings him undone. Now that invoice, by the way, 55.62 seconds. So that's the 45 stop and hold plus the stop. Oh dear. And if you're Andy Barber, you're having a nice little chuckle at Ryan's expense at the moment. in the family rivalry. Yeah. Jeez. Just watching time sit still.
Then I know it too well.
Absolutely. Unbelievable. Tomorrow night, I'm looking forward to the Porsches, mate. But from your standpoint, we didn't get a chance to have a chat with you on Monday night. Was Indianapolis as bad or better than you were expecting it to be?
Did you not get my text on WhatsApp?
Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure I read that out on air, but I was hoping you'd relay the message to the audience, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't have read that one.
I did. I'm pretty sure I had to bleep it. Yes, I bleeped it twice. What a bleeping bleep night. Yes.
That one did not go well.
No,
I don't know what it was. I just did not gel.
It was going okay in race one.
Yeah, until I spun and took out half the field behind me.
But you were looking forward to the back of Indianapolis before you even arrived there, quite frankly. Let's be honest.
Correct. Yep, correct. But it was actually a lot better than just hot lapping around there, trying to get a bit of practice in. It wasn't too bad racing.
I mean, points for perseverance. I mean, there are others that just would have said, "Look, I'm not turning up. I'm not even bothering with this." But it was good for it was good for Thornweger, that's for sure. He's 100% spot on about that in the comments there. And you've got to take those small wins when they come your way, buddy. Well done. Let's have a look at this.
Here we are. Buchanan's back in the chase. Only 3/10 off.
So he's come from a long way back here to fight back up onto the tail of Tyson Broad. Now, that's the experience of those guys, right? Again, this takes nothing away from Jace Douglas. He can take a lot of confidence from the fact that he stayed with these boys right throughout the first stint, but he's the distant third car in this pack, right? and again, it's just those little 1 and 2 percenters that he has to fine tune now in order to match these guys across a 40-minute race. Because when you look at that, right, when you look at what we've just seen through the pit stops, they've stopped at the end of lap 10. We're on lap 12, and 10.4 and 10.1, and Jason Douglas back on 11.3. You can't be gifting these guys 1.2 seconds on pit road. Drop off, you lot, please. Have a look at this in the comment section once more. It's all kicked off again. So actually, someone in there, I'm pretty sure, was talking about my baptism or something similar. Christening was the word. Someone mentioned my christening in that bloody chat thread earlier. I got baptised, I don't mind divulging this, back in 1991. Now, this was a very busy time for the Caban family because Mum and Dad were adjusting to having a newborn. They just had said newborn in the Sydney Children's Hospital near the Prince of Wales there at in the beautiful part of Sydney known as Randwick, not too far from Royal Randwick Racecourse. And Dad wasn't christened at the time. Mum was. Mum was Catholic. And there was a bit of rubbish in the... I can't believe I'm saying this and how well it's aged. There was a little bit of rubbish in the Catholic Church at the time. And there was a big argument between Mum and Dad. Well, we're not christening the kids, and they've got to be they've got to be the same as one of us. So that means either they're going to be Catholic or you've got to take one for the team. So Dad took one for the team, and we got baptised on the same day. How about that? There's a little fun fact story from the history of the Caban family for you on a Wednesday night. A legit birthday this time, says Brooksy. He's being legit, says Thorn. Okay, all right. Well, I'll do I have to take your word for it, or can I ask for some verification to be sent through, like ID cards or something? Hang down the inside. Sorry, thank you, Daly. There's a motor race going on.
I'll keep us on track, Zach. I'll keep us on track.
Haney gets up ahead of Andy Barber. That's up into position number 11, and he's plus 21 from the back of the grid. Jordan Pianazzola is next target, bottom of screen there. He's going through plus 3. The leader of the Open Dev Split at the moment is Jamie Fleming ahead of Mitch Noble, and the field is cleansed. We're heading for, I reckon, 6 laps to go at the line. 6 laps to go at the line. It'll be Tyson Broad letting Will Buchanan back, and these guys... These guys are duking it out relentlessly. Something chronic. This is magnificent. Great little scrap. Broad, Buchanan. 0.3 of a second separates them right now. Two teams with a lot of history here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I mean, not at this circuit specifically. It's our first visit here. But they've got a lot riding on this. Will Buchanan, of course, flying the Ford flag. Tyson the Chev flag. 6 laps to go. Oh, how good's it going to be? Hang on. Are we which one are we dividing by 2 there, Thorn? Because there's a few different numbers. If it's... I think I saw 62 in the chat thread, so divide that by 2, 61. 31. So 62 divided by 2, 31. 31. Happy 31st to Thorn. Yes. That makes me feel rather old because I'm plus 5 of that come next month. So... yeah, it's a lot of candles to blow out, 100%. Sorry, no. Miller Motorsport too quickly on the button with that one. Yes, I was trying to work it out, and I was like, I've got the one, and I just had to divide it because I was trying to work back from 64 and then 62 because the first comment above there, Andrew, said 74, and he said divide that by 2, and I was going to say 37, and then so there were a lot of numbers going around there, but no, 31 it is. Thank you, appreciate that, and just remember that bit of shade throwing, Mr. Miller, when you're in here at another point. I'll get square.
I'll tell you what, Jolene Hanson, he has been on the hunt for the secret profile, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. Very good. Oh dear. Yeah, you should have kept quiet, Mr. Miller. Yeah, I'll remember that. Actually, that's right. There's actually two things that I've got to come back to with regards to that household. His girlfriend thought I sounded like Albo a couple of weeks ago. I haven't forgotten about that. Will Buchanan, Tyson Broad, Jason Douglas, Dylan Walker, and Alex Tzidikis. Ross Amor, they're in sixth spot. Actually, I've got to confirm that, whether it's Amor or Armour. Armour is A-R-M-O-U-R, so it's probably Armour. They're in sixth spot. He's +4 at the moment. Jamie Fleming continues to lead the dev split right now. Mitch Noble, Jake Slade, good recovery despite 2 stops. And Adam Hayne in 10th, +22. That's Sean Rigby clouding the wall. And now Harry Denbrink is calling for everybody else to go and find a translator from SBS so that they can make sense of all of that. Happy birthday in different languages. Thank you. Appreciate that. How good. Alex Tzidikis had an all right run on Monday night, but that's not one of his final moments there. At least he kept it off the tyre wall. Plenty of replays to work with tonight. Nearly no doubt about that. And Will Buchanan has gone back to the front. Rightio, game on. Buchanan and Broad. Racing to the checkered flag with 4 laps to go at the line. +22 from the back of the field. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. Doesn't get the bonus points. I don't think he put a time down in qualifying, but still solid effort. I'd like to know where it went wrong for him in qualifying, though. Unless he was just late arriving home and jumped in.
What's happened to Sean Rigby? He's left pit lane.
Yeah, after a second stop for 11.4 seconds, so good pickup. He's clearly run into trouble.
Looking good there, but he loses his entire front end. Oh, there we go.
There it is. Smack bang into the wall. Oh dear. Will's not giving in. No, this is a great scrap. A really solid dogfight between this pair. It's been great to watch. Buchanan, Broad, Douglas, then Walker, then Tzidikis, then Armour, then Fleming, Noble, Slade, and Hayne, the top 10. These things don't have any downforce to lose anyway. That's fair. And as John Merritt and Andrew Dyson said, supercars have had their own controversy to deal with in the recent times, but they'd be absolutely loving the fact that there's a bigger motorsport political issue taking centre stage and taking some of the heat off them. Whoa, cutting it fine. Getting right up alongside the concrete. He's only got 3 laps left to hold on. Cannot afford to cough or sneeze or trip or slip in any way, shape or form. Brought out a sniff. He had a look down the inside. He thought better of it for the moment. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a few people, and David Kirby's one of them, that used to be like supercar regulars. Like supercars was the be all and end all of their sim racing existence, and they dabble in, other things sporadically. But this change of car and this Gen 3 has kind of enticed people to go and have a sample, have a crack at other things. As you're seeing Kirby drop up into GT3 servers now, and giving that a crack in the Pony, the Mustang. It's interesting, right? To watch the varying different opinions be posted online and be shared, or listen to them be shared here in the central commentary position. I don't think there's anywhere near as much disdain for this car as there was the Porsche 992.2, but still, people are getting sick of, people are getting tired of the mundane nature of this car. They're going and sampling other things. It's still a very prominent car. It's still a very popular car, but there are more and more drivers out there looking for other challenges beyond the supercar. From your standpoint, Neely, have you had too much of a dabble in these Gen 3 supercars?
Nah, not a lot. Believe it or not, once you get in a right-hand drive, nearly impossible for me to work out my bearings, believe it or not.
Yeah, righto.
Just,
Yeah,
just does not feel right.
that's an interesting. Yeah, righto.
Not to mention in the comments, they go fast, they don't stop, they don't turn. It's not my kind of driving.
Where's Sam tonight? Well, that's a very good point, actually. Oh, look at this. Barber on the inside of Lavis. Lavis on the outside. And Andy Barber now on the inside there. Oh. So Lavis keeps them at bay. Snedden offering relentless pressure here to Andy Barber on the final few laps. Sorry, I'm just swatting moths and insects and other things away that have decided, it's almost the start of fly season and there's other things flying around here at the moment. Plus, as you may have heard, ladies and gentlemen, my phone has been going off something chronic tonight because Auto Action dropped their big bloody spiel on the legal proceedings of the BAC and the AASA right as we're going on air. How bloody rude. So yes, it's going to be one of those nights where I'm up well past the bedtime again, just making sense of all of that. What's Jackson's black flag for? That'll either be for incident points or... actually, I'd imagine incident points, but let's have a look. Jackson Sufong lap... Yeah, no, it has to be incident points. Has to be incident points because we're 16 laps in. He either hasn't cleared a slowdown or he's tripped up the incident point limit there, Andrew. I'm not sure which one it is, but the pit stop on lap 10, he hasn't come in to clear that yet. So the black flag's only just recently been issued. Otherwise, they would have turfed him out. If that was issued up on lap 10, he would have already been disqualified for not having served the penalty. So it's a new penalty. Therefore, it's either he hasn't cleared a slowdown or he's got an incident point limit. My guess would be the latter, because we haven't seen a yellow flag pop up there alongside his name terribly often. But look at this. Buchanan and Broad with a lap and a half to go. What a dogfight. They'll see the white flag next time by the strike. And also, well, actually, guys, just for future reference, hello, Aidan Hackwood. My producer, my director is Andrew Neal. He's the one that can bring those up on screen for you, and he's the one that's got to actually dig through the tape and go and find them. So, yes, he'll no doubt go and have a look at what's going on to Chase McMillan. Good pick-up, actually, there from Jacob Miller there, because... he's asking what happened to Mitchie Noble. He's down in 9th at the moment. He's 7 seconds down on Fleming. And it doesn't look like anything untoward's gone on the pit lane. So maybe he's been trumped up on strategy. Maybe he's had a spin. We'll find out. But let's come back to those replays in a moment. Neely, make a note of those. We'll go back and have a look because we cannot take our eyes off this. We absolutely have to follow this to the flag. They are... within striking distance of the white flag. The last lap board will be in the air, and these two are going to duke it out for another 5.4 kilometres around the Coronado Naval Base in San Diego. The Qualcomm circuit hosting the Trophi.AI Supercar Series for the first time, and Will Buchanan leads in the Mustang for AITX over the Logitech Orbit Drop Air Motorsport entry of Tyson Broad as the white flag flies. Is Barney on deck? I didn't see him.
Yeah, I think he was.
Well, there you go. See, how about that, eh? They can get him to Qualcomm, but they can't get him to the bend. And the bend was here first. I mean, he's probably just having a gander around the museum there, isn't he? Look at this. Buchanan and Broad. The onus is on Tyson to try and find a way through, try and pressure Will into a mistake. And if you Will Buchanan, you've got to just ignore the purple and yellow in your mirror at the moment. Pretend like he's not there. Eyes forward. The finish line is ahead of you, not behind you. But where is Tyson going to make a lunge? Are there rules for people blinking? Jackson was wiped out by a car. Okay, well, that'll be an interesting one to go back and have a look at. But there are blinking rules, but there might have been a minor blinking issue. We can have a look at it, but that's a race control thing. That's certainly not a commentary thing. I'll come back to that. Muni. Oh, here he is. Here he is on the inside. No, not close enough. Less than half a lap to go. Buchanan's holding on. Broad looking for a way through. Buchanan's drive has been faultless so far through this final lap. Now he's just got to hold on through the final sequence of chicanes. One of the last opportunities to have a lunge is right here and now. Buchanan holds off Broad. On the run down to the final chicane. Here we go. He's too far back, he's not close enough. Brilliant effort from Will Buchanan. Gallen in defeat by Tyson Broad. That's if he can't make a move on the final corner. He had it slipping and sliding all over the place. Coming towards the final corner. Will Buchanan is going to see off the threat of Tyson Broad and win at the Qualcomm circuit. In Trophi.AI Supercars in the Elite Split. What about that? Oh, a dream win for Will Buchanan. A master performance. What about Tyson Broad pushing him all the way, though? That was brilliant. But Will Buchanan to win one on merit on circuit against Tyson Broad, that's a fair feather in the cap. And David Kirby just getting in there very quickly to say, that's my son-in-law. That's why we love him so much. Have a look at that, eh? Fantastic stuff. Great racing around here. Tyson Broad very quick to jump out of the car, jump in the boot to have a chat to us. We'll watch the finishing cars come through and take the checkered flag. Then we'll get straight to him. Jamie Fleming's picked up the win in the Dev Split. Did very well in the end to get it done quite convincingly. 7 seconds to the good over Mitch Noble. Jordan Pianazzola will be third in class there. Ryan Barber's come through for 12. Daniel Snedden 13 just off the podium. Andy Barber has come through as well. Adam Lavis and Leslie Reeves. So well done, Broad, Walker, Wake, make up the podium there. Well done to Will Buchanan, though. That, as I say, that's a win on merit. And a win that he will very much enjoy the spoils of, despite the fact that Tyson threw absolutely everything at him. Just not enough in the end, despite leading in various points of the night. Alex Dzika's in for fifth. Jason Douglas has come home in fourth behind Dylan Walker. The margin in the end was a second between Walker and Douglas. But for all the effort and all the focus we placed on first and second, Buchanan and Broad, what was lost in the conversation there is that they were nearly 11 seconds up the road from Dylan Walker and Jason Douglas. Alex Dzika's in for fifth. Ross Armour picks up sixth, and Jamie Fleming, the winner of the Dev Split, in seventh. Jake Slade recovered for eighth. Adam Hayne up 23 spots. Mitch Noble up 12. Noble, the biggest mover in the Dev Split. Hayne, the biggest mover in the Elite Split. But Hayne, I don't think, set a time in qualifying, so I'm just having a look through now as to who might grab that in his absence. Oh, plus four. Plus four, Dylan Walker and Ross Armour. Yeah, wow. Okay. Very, very tough night for overtaking manoeuvres in the elite class, but a lot of moving and shaking in the Dev Split. There are the results for you. Will Buchanan too good in the end. Let me drag these blokes in for a chat. Jamie Fleming's here, Dylan Walker's here, Daniel Snedden is here as well. We'll hear from them in just a moment. We've got Tyson Broad standing by. Buchanan the winner, Fleming the winner of the respective two splits. Fleming, Noble, Pianazzola in the Dev Split. Buchanan, Broad and Walker in the elite. Very good. 0.17 the margin. What we have in the end as far as attrition was concerned, what we get 19 laps, so you had to get 15 for 75%. So that counts everyone out beyond Joe De La Rosa. Joe De La Rosa will be the last of the classified finishers. Chase McMillan, David Uni, no finish there. Jacob McIntyre and Nathan Michael parked up early. Watson and Arnott did not start. Glenn Arnott, of course, in race control. In fact, Daniel Snedden's just left here because he's been summoned there. which means we'll start our post-race proceedings with Tyson Broad. Tyson, by gee, that was a cracking scrap for 40 minutes. We weren't sure what to expect with the Coronado Naval base tonight. It didn't disappoint. You guys delivered a top-shelf spectacle from first until last, and I mean, you broke clear of Jace Douglas and Jake Slade early on, and we were wondering how, relentlessly, how intensively you two were going to go about it and duke it out. And that was a show for the ages, and you were a bee's proverbial away from being able to find a way by. You needed him to probably trip up once or twice in order to give yourself a look, but he didn't trip up. That was a brilliant drive from Will, and equally a good drive from you. But unfortunately, in a situation like that, there's always got to be a runner-up.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Will. That was a great race. I was just trying to pile the pressure on him. He made a mistake earlier in the race and, managed to get by him. I think if this series didn't have fast repairs, I probably would have ran away in the distance, because I think him hitting the wall early on damaged his car to a point where it wasn't competitive anymore. So, done those fast repairs.
Hey, what about the pressure that was mounted by? Jake Slade's had a second stop. Unfortunately, I'm not sure the context of that. But what about the way in which he and Jace Douglas stuck with you for the majority of that opening stint as well? They put in a solid effort.
Yeah, definitely. It was just keeping on your toes and not going for any low percentage moves, because you know that if you did, the guys behind were going to get by you. So it was just a matter of biding your time and only going for the moves when you knew they were there.
Absolutely. There was a lot of intrigue with regards to this round. DWR Shadow Racing fast repairs make the racing feel quite cheap. Okay. We'll tackle that comment a little bit later on. I don't think Will Buchanan's thinking they're terribly cheap at the moment. I think he's eyeing them off and thinking they're quite a valuable commodity. But anyway, it's interesting, right, Tice? Because we talk about. I'll come back and talk about the circuit itself in a moment, but I want to stick with that comment because if the fast repairs weren't there, we'd have a lot of varying different results on any given night of the week, but the attrition rate would be a lot higher. I understand why we've got them and a valuable asset to have in league racing, but that's the difference between what we do here and that next step up. You've got nowhere to hide and nothing to fall back on in those ASRG series. As we saw on Sunday, I felt so badly for Sean McNamara and co that got wiped out on lap 4 of 161, but that's what makes league racing unique, isn't it? That you've got, we don't take the piss with it in the sense that you've only got one to fall back on in a 40-minute race. We think that's fair, but that is the difference between league racing and also that next step up to elite racing competition, the preeminent competitions of sim racing in this country. Where do you sit on it? Because some nights it works in your favour and some nights it very much works against you.
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously tonight it worked against me, but obviously there have been some nights where it's worked in my favour. So, I think for series like this, it's probably, good that you have that fast repair there. Like, obviously, the Pro Series and Scops and all that, you definitely shouldn't have fast repairs because that's meant to be the best of the best. So, it's good for, fun series like this to know that, if you slap the wall hard enough to get a race-altering damage, you can have a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Yeah, and that's the point. DWR Shadow Racing just saying that the only reason it was mentioned is because you highlighted it as well. But it makes for a good point of discussion. And we have in the past clamped down on that, as you know, with GT3 Platinum, as it's now known. There's no fallback in sprint rounds. If you come unstuck, that's to your own detriment. You park it on pit lane and you pay the invoice. But yes, they do exist for a reason, because we know that sim racing has its trip ups occasionally from time to time, and obviously when it's not your car and you're not footing the bill, the full send can sometimes be engaged when it shouldn't be. Talk to me about the challenges there too. with regards to trying to master this circuit, mate. Big weekend for the team last weekend, the Logitech 1000. That was a massive day for all concerned and a big week leading up to it with preparation for Bathurst. So less than 72 hours later, here we are at Qualcomm. New circuit for everybody, blank slate. What'd you make of it?
Yeah, glad to see the back of this place. Yeah, definitely not a fan of it. Even NASCAR's not really that big of a fan of it. So, yeah, it's kind of reasonable to yeah. I don't think this track suits these cars. So, yeah, glad we did it. Glad we tried it. But yeah, definitely not worth coming back.
Difficult for overtaking, but you were still able to find your way to the front on a couple of occasions. It was actually nice on a street circuit to see you guys being able to execute overtaking manoeuvres successfully. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, it's good that, you know, this track, yeah, there's some narrow sections, you know, down the back end of the circuit near the shore front, but there's also, you know, a bit wider areas when you get into the naval base itself. So, yeah, it's good that, you know, it's wider points, so therefore you can get overtaking moves done.
Very nicely done. You say burn the circuit. We're happy not to come back here. It's interesting though, right? Because the NASCARs were here in the real world. I don't know how much NASCAR racing you've been doing, but or you do generally. But I would imagine that if you're saying that about the supercars, there'll be a few NASCAR drivers saying they're happy to see the back of the circuit as well with regards to the car they are and how they race, etc.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do quite a bit of that as well because, yeah, the skills are somewhat transferable. So, yeah, it's definitely a discipline I like. And, yeah, definitely heard a lot of drivers complaining about the place and saying that, you know, they would much rather race somewhere else. And I'm in that same camp.
Well, speaking of somewhere else, next week we go to the Bend, then we go to Road America, then we go to Long Beach. So we've got I've got a fair bit of Road America coming up. We've got a double there on Friday night this week. We've got you guys there on a couple of Wednesday nights from now, and the Porsches have their grand finale there as well. It's interesting. I want to pick your brain about something else as well. The Supercar is a car to drive because there's mixed reviews for the Gen 3 compared to the Gen 2. But similar to the Porsche 992.2 compared to the 992.1, there's it's a case of everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's been thrown in the deep end together. And if you want to race officials and the big series around the world of sim racing, you've got to adapt to the new cars. But I made comment during the call that there are a few guys that have kind of, you know, just lost interest in the Gen 3 supercar, hence why they've gone and had a steer in something else. Where do you sit with it? Does it become a little bit tedious or mundane after a while?
It can do, but I guess that's the beauty of Gens and other series. It's that, you know, there's something else to race and, you know, just have a bit of fun in it. So, yeah, I guess it's just difficulty trying to set up the thing, more so particularly than anything. But, yeah, it's good to just have a break every once in a while and drive something else. I think that's what Mr. Blacklock has done. Unfortunately, I think he got dragged away cooking, so therefore he's only got on near the end. So, yeah, unfortunate there.
The question was asked where he might have been tonight, and I thought I'd let you fill in the gaps there for us, whether he's got his MasterChef on or whether something else has come up. I knew that was coming eventually. I'm sure he saw it coming from a mile away as well. Thoughts on next week? I mean, interesting to note that whilst the real world and also probably the officials are going to focus on the West Circuit, we're going the full circuit at the Bend. How do you feel about
that? Yeah, probably should change it to the West Circuit. Not a huge fan of the international circuit, and yeah, I think it'd probably be better if we went to the West Circuit, but oh well, you got to deal with what you're dealt sometimes.
Indeed, you do. Now, what else is on your racing radar for the balance of this week, please?
Well, it wasn't meant to be free. I was meant to be away, but yeah, plans changed, and I might be able to do Friday night again. And yeah, we'll just wait and see what happens from then on.
Indeed, very nicely done. Now, the rest of the team, mate, what'd you make of what you saw and what you were part of on Sunday? A very long day to bring a big, long week to an end. And, I mean, a fair share of trials and tribulations, but that's the mountain for you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Very good to get 2 cars in the top 15 in that. Unfortunately, Capel and Dan unfortunately had a bit of dramas, so a little disappointing for them. But I think Tom Wilkinson can now sort out his dice properly. Yes, absolutely. I was going to say, still a long way to go in that Logitech G Pro Supercar Series as well. So we wish everybody there the very best of luck. And, of course, you'll have some pilots out there in the Porsche Pro Invitational next week as well. So we're excited about all of that. I'm not sure there's much else. Neely, is there anything else to ask Mr. Broad, or should we give him an early mark?
I think we can give him an early mark. I do want to say something. While you say that it's not a driver's course, it made for a wonderful spectacular.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. From a spectator standpoint, it was brilliant. Yep.
It was a great race.
Yep.
All right, mate. Hey, I thought you were going to engage with Neely there for a moment, but it just fell incredibly silent. So I thought I'd better pick it up. I love live broadcasting. Tice, who would you like to thank, mate?
Sorry.
Who would you like to thank, buddy?
Just all the boys at Logitech Geo DBM and our sponsors in Revolution Race Gear, Logitech G, and iLiveries. And gee, that helmet looks really good. Shout out to Wandy for doing that for me. And just the gents for putting on the race and the broadcast, and the other drivers for a great show.
All right, very nicely done. Terrific to catch up with you, mate. Appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you on track, hopefully, as you say, on Friday night for the Road America doubleheader. Thanks for stopping on by. Brilliant effort tonight. A great show for us. And if it is the first and only time we go to the Qualcomm circuit, at least it was memorable from a grandstand finish perspective. We look forward to seeing what the rest of the season brings for you, mate. Thank you.
No worries.
The victor go the spoils. Will be Cannons here. Jordan Pianazzola's here. At least he's nabbed a podium in the dev split on the back of comments made in the BMWs. We weren't sure how it was going to fare for him, but he's continued to hold sway as far as being in the title fight there is concerned, which is good. But tonight, the victor's name is Jamie Fleming, and he's with us here, and we'll have a chat with him, mate. Congratulations to you. Brilliant performance in that dev split. Talk us through the challenges of it, because you've already probably heard what Tice has had to say. He's not a huge fan of the Qualcomm circuit, but for you, a victory, all of a sudden you've got to wonder whether you love the circuit, whether you hate the circuit. I'm curious as to your insights into the 40 minutes that was.
I do like the circuit. I've put a fair bit of time into it this week, only because I knew it only takes one mishap and you put yourself in the wall, and that'll end your race pretty quick. But for the track itself, I think it's quite good. I really enjoyed it. It suited the car. I thought it suited the car well, the right setup, and I thought it was good.
So did I. From your standpoint, cracking championship points race there at the moment in the dev split. We saw that you were only 1 point behind Jordan coming into this round. Obviously, drop rounds coming to the count after tonight as well. I don't have a clear indication of whether we're going to have that updated points table with you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, or tomorrow night. I'm thinking it's the latter, because I know Adam Lavis is on early starts at work at the moment. So stand by tomorrow night in our coverage of Formula V and also the Porsche Cup for an update on the points table. But at least based on tonight's results, you put your nose in front, but there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, the last 2 races I had didn't fare too well for myself, so I definitely wanted to put my best foot forward in this race. I knew I had to finish at least within the top 3 to have a chance in the championship. But I had I was at lap 5, I think. I made a mistake, and Mitch, I was chasing down Daniel, and I made a mistake, and Mitch got in front of me, and I thought, well, if I pit now and get some clear air, regroup, and try and get him on the other side, and it seemed to work, so it was good.
Indeed. How are you enjoying the championship so far, mate? I mean, I've been in and out because of other commentary commitments on a Wednesday night, but the season appears to be going really well for you. Only 2 wins so far, but consistency has put you right there in contention.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The guys are great to race around, and it's a great community. If you ever need help or got questions, there's plenty of people who put their hand up to reach out and help out, so it's always good too.
Indeed. Thoughts on next week, the Bend? We've already heard Tyson say that he'd probably prefer the West layout as opposed to the International. Where do you sit with that?
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. But it's going to be a long track. It's going to be it's an endurance as well, I'm assuming.
It's a 40-minute race, yes. No, actually, no. Sorry, it's sprint. It's sprint.
Sprint
yep,
race.
It's showing on my screen that it's sprint. Yep, sorry.
That's going to be interesting. Yeah, I guess there's plenty of runoff, so I'll if I can keep it on the black stuff, I think I'll be fine. But I go away this weekend, so I'll try and get as much practice in tomorrow and Wednesday when I come back, and see how I go, I guess.
I guess you're probably in the rhythm and habit now of juggling work commitments with sim racing commitments. But does the compromised time behind the rig plague your progress at any point?
Yeah, I work a 7 on 7 off roster, so on me 7 days, I tend to jump on the Wednesday night for the race with very little practice, and then on me 7 off, me and the boys, we get in and we try and do as much practice as possible.
The interesting thing for mine in all of this is when you look at what's coming up, we've also got Road America for the Enduro, 60 minutes there. But then to throw you guys in the deep end with the super spread at Long Beach, that seems cruel after the amount of sprint races and street races we've done, especially over the last 2 terms.
You'd almost swap the Road America and the Bend around, have the sprint race at Road America and the endurance at the Bend, but well, it is what it is, I guess. But it'll be enjoyable. Looking forward to it.
Just to clarify, would you come back to the Qualcomm circuit? Would you like to see it on the calendar again, or are you happy that it's a one-off wonder?
No, I'd definitely come back. I really enjoyed it. The yeah, it's like Long Beach and Chicago and all those. Like you really have to get it right, because if you don't, you'll end up in a concrete wall, and that's your night sort of thing. So
yeah,
you got to really think smart, and yeah.
And that's the point as well. Like to go back and have the discussion that we're having earlier, just stay there with me for a moment. Let's just go Harlan Esports. That's David Kirby. What a good week. I win the round on Monday. Will wins tonight, and the Cowboys get 2 points this week. Yeah. Actually, although that being said, if it was a couple of weeks ago after what the Roosters did to them, 82 points to 12, I'd be tempted to put money on the bye. I mean, anyone else with me on that? Fair income. Although that being said, I'd put 2 points on I'd put some money on the buy to get the 2 points over Melbourne the way they're going at the moment as well. Just going back to the point, JB, you mentioned about no margin for error, concrete canyon, etc. And we heard Tyson talking about. I asked his thoughts on fast repairs on the back of some comments being made both by him and in the chat thread here as well. It's interesting, right? 6 of one, half dozen the other. In Will's defence, it's worked for him tonight to be able to get the fast repair at the pit lane. But it's important to note that if you have an incident on the circuit where you clout the wall and she's not drivable back to pit lane, you pay the invoice via the way of the tow rope. Yes, you can get back out there, but any chance of bagging your results, done.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The fast repair has definitely saved me quite a few times in this series so far, so it'd be good, definitely good to keep it, but you are right. If you hit the wall hard enough, your night's pretty much over with a tow anyway. So.
All right, very nicely done. Hang on. What the hell's going on here?
Oh, I've lost it.
I've lost the chat thread. I have lost the chat thread there.
6-1 Racing asked if you're burning the bush.
No, I can see that, but I'm trying to work out what the hell he's talking about. Someone is going to have to explain that to me.
I think he's talking about the Cowboys. Where you said you'd put the money on the buy.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I thought he was going down a completely different direction. I had no idea where we were going with that. No, we are burning. Yes, we are backing the buy against the Cowboys. Yes, at the moment. Although, yeah, technically you can't do that. They won't let you do it at the tab. But based on recent events when they got done at 82-12 against the Cowboys, yes, absolutely. Righto. All right. So much smoking. 6-1 Racing. So much smoking goodness. How do you? Actually, no, that's fair. I do go there on a Tuesday night to play trivia. And I wouldn't always, I'd argue that it's not always tobacco that they smoke in Goodna, but that's another story. Let's straighten this up before I dig a hole that I really can't get out of, ladies and gentlemen. Although I've done a fair bit of that this week because I've gone hard with the AASA debacle. Not as hard as some people, but hard enough. Jamie, who would you like to thank while we've got you here, buddy?
Yeah, just shout out to Leslie. It was a arrive and drive for him. He done well. He's up there in 16th place. David, he didn't have the best race today, but we'll regroup and go again. But thanks to all the boys over at SCSR Racing, Track Racer, and Jay's coaching, and obviously you guys for putting all this on. It's greatly appreciated and really enjoyable.
I feel like the rails are falling off it very quickly tonight, but that's another story. Thank you for that. Before I let you go, let me just go back and tackle off one of the comments that was there a minute ago. 6-1 Racing is Terry Marsh. That's I'm glad that he clarified that because I was up the creek without a paddle there for a moment trying to place names to handles and all that sort of stuff. But Tez, more pressing, more important question. Why are you buying into the whole David Kirby, Will Buchanan way of throwing shade type behaviour in the comment section on a Wednesday night when normally this is right up your alley and you're out there driving a bloody supercar, please? Please explain your absence. What on earth is going on there? You become like the people you hang around. Once someone starts, and I blame Buchanan every day of the week. We'll get to him in a moment because he started all of this and everyone else has just jumped on the bandwagon and encouraged it. And Terry's in there bloody getting led astray by these people now. As long as we don't have Sharp reffing the buy, we should get the points. That's a reference to Belinda Sharp, the referee. I know. Thank you, Kirby. Well played. Oh dear, it's all gone to hell. Hey Jamie, last one before I let you go, mate, because obviously you've been really good with your time. It's great to get the dev split win there, mate. But is there anything else you're driving on these platforms beyond the supercar, or is it just the supercar because of the work schedule?
At the moment, it's just the supercar. I'll try and do a fair bit of Porsche Cup as well. That seems to be attacking the I rating a fair bit, but get some good races and some bad races. But I've just picked myself up a new wheel and base, so just getting the hang of that, and that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last week is just testing out the new wheel and all the new gadgets. So yeah.
You tell, what did you get?
The Sim Magic 18 Newton meter with the D-shaped wheel with the Neo. Is it the Neo X? I think. Yeah, so it's come from a Fanatec belt drive, so it's a bit of a jump. So it's you can definitely feel absolutely everything. So it's good.
Black mold, oh God. Feel for you, Terry. Good luck sorting that out and good luck with the move, and we'll see you back on track next week. But at least he's been able to clarify his whereabouts. So I was talking about Will and David Kirby. That's right. And actually, to be fair, it's not always it's not always started by Will. It's sometimes started by Daniel Snedden as well. And I can say that because I don't see him in the booth at the moment. He was in here momentarily, then he ducked off to race control. I'm sure he'll be back in the comments now that his name has been mentioned very, very shortly. Is it 365 or 366? Well, it's only a regular year. So it can only be 365. It'll be 366 when we get to 2028, the Olympic year in Los Angeles. All right, Jamie, thank you, mate. Good luck with the work schedule, mate. Obviously, that does compromise your ability to be here every week for the Porsches, but we look forward to seeing you in the Porsche on the weeks where you're at home, and all the best with the work stuff as well.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, and yeah, great work.
It's been off the rails, this entire broadcast, because the idiocy started right off the top, and we haven't really got back on track at any point tonight, but we'll see how we go. Will Buchanan's here, Dylan Walker's here, Jordan Pianazzola's here. Again, in Jordan's case, he started the night here in the booth as well. I only come here to ask about the time in summer. Yes, that's true, David Kirby, and I've already tackled that. Did you notice one thing, though? No sun issues, no daylight issues in San Diego. You know why? They do daylight saving. Follow me for more tips with regards to how we should go about our business in the summer months. Andrew Neal's having a good chuckle at the moment.
We can start the tick for the bingo there, but we can't finish it.
No, that's right. Coronado didn't disappoint, says Josh Zuno, who's watching on from race control. Thought we might have a clean race after the first 2/3 of lap one. Yes, that's true. It didn't end up being the case, but that's all right. At least you boys have knocked off for the night. Let's go and have a chat because we've got Dylan Walker here. Solid drive from you, I thought, and in the end, a solid result as well. You flew under the radar a little bit through the first part of the race, mate, but fought back nicely in the second. Obviously, Jace Douglas has slipped to fourth. Slady's had a second pit stop. We're still not sure why. So you are able to benefit from all of that and come through and bag another podium finish. So you're getting good at racking up the podiums at the moment.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Did it the hard way tonight. Obviously, qualifying down in 8th didn't help. But, happy with the result. Definitely didn't have the car speed that the guys in front did. So, yeah, probably as good as it was going to get in P3. So, pretty happy with that.
And talk me through your thoughts on the Qualcomm circuit as well, mate, because as we said, new real estate, clean slates, really unknown entity, but an extremely difficult one to try and wrap your head around and master at the same time. It's hard to learn because there's no real markers around here, so it feels like a bit of a maze, especially in the second half of the lap. But the more laps you do, the more I was enjoying it. So I was getting around, coming around on the track. Kind of enjoyed it towards the end. I'd definitely be keen to see it again for next season. Your thoughts on the race and how it played out from your standpoint? Is that about as best as you could hope for tonight, result-wise?
Yeah. I definitely wasn't going to catch Will and Tyson, especially with where I qualified. Arriving and driving definitely didn't help. I'm sure they probably did the same, but yeah, they're just on another level tonight. So yeah, happy with P3.
That's placed to the momentum stable. What have you got to bring to the table aside from trying to find a little bit more time in the schedule to get yourself ready for it? What have you got to bring to the table to find that extra gear to take it to Will and Tyson, who put on an epic show tonight?
I don't know. I think it's the piece of meat behind the wheel, to be honest. Just got to do more laps. I was using an Adelaide setup tonight, so I don't know whether that was the right call. But car felt fine. It was just me driving it was the issue. So just got to get quicker in the car and come back next week and try and knock them off the top.
I'm starting to notice that a little bit more as the season goes on. A couple of drivers just openly acknowledging a spacer issue. The gap between the seat and the steering wheel, more so what occupies that gap. Although that being said, you sell yourself a little bit short because you're a pretty good peddler in your own right, pretty good steerer. Although, let's be honest, I think this is the first time we've had a chance to have a chat with you since GT1 at Alton Park, and suffice to say that didn't necessarily go according to plan.
You kind of cursed me when you were saying the second place sort of stuff, and then go and have a couple wobbles after that. So appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Although I have to ask, you weren't listening to the commentary whilst you were racing, were you?
No, this is no. I don't do that.
That was when you were reviewing the code. Yeah.
But no, when you were interviewing me, you were like, "Oh, I've got the second place prize for the season." So,
oh dear. Yes, the commentator's curse has been working wonders over the course of the last 7 days. No doubt about that. I asked the boys their thoughts on the supercar. I mean, it's not lost on anybody. It's no secret that this is not an easy thing to wrap your head around and steer on any given circuit. But when you put them on a difficult circuit, as Tyson said, he'd be happy not to come back here. How are you finding the supercar in terms of how challenging it can be week in week? And in fact, in some cases, I'm sure that the challenge is why some people keep turning up.
I think it's easier to drive than the Gen2s for sure. It just makes more sense to drive. You're driving it on the rear a lot more. The Gen2s were so twitchy with the steering and everything. So I'm definitely glad to see the back end of the old car. Again, I don't know how realistic it is with the lack of traction in these. It's just got very, very little grip compared to what you'd sort of imagine. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge. It's just don't have enough seat time in it to be right up the pointy end, unfortunately.
That's fair. What's next on your racing radar, please?
I'm going to be looking at the PRNZ 6 hour that they're putting on. Got to get a bit more practice in for that. Obviously, Scops and Enduros are coming up as well, so need to start prepping for those. But GSRC wise, it'll just be probably GT1s when I can, and jumping in these when possible as well.
So if we see you here next Wednesday night, what are your thoughts on the Bend? That is the next stop for the Trophi.AI supercars.
I like the international circuit. I haven't driven the West one too much, but I'd imagine it would make more sense for the international one. Yeah. But apparently that's a controversial opinion. So
to be fair, you've driven 99% of the West circuit.
Yeah, it's just that hairpin in the middle
short
of the track,
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think it might be a little bit too much of a bull ring for an enduro, especially 500 Ks that the enduros are asking. But I mean, don't knock it till you try it, right? So we'll see how that goes.
Well, that's exactly right. We're looking forward to it immensely. Congratulations, mate. Very nice result. I mean, obviously, being your neck of the woods, being that time of night, you can go and enjoy some dinner and whatever else now. But well done on that. Solid drive. Kind of flew under the radar there for a while because we saw, obviously, we couldn't take our eyes off what Broad and Buchanan were doing up the front. We had Douglas there and Slady for a good piece of it as well. But in the end, a little bit of a trip in the run to the checkered flag for Jason has opened the door for you to grab that third place there. So well done. Who would you like to thank?
Just all the boys back at Momentum. Huge effort from what the team is putting in. P1 Docs, JVRE, Metabus, and all the team and the effort from them.
Very nicely done. Thanks for stopping on by for a chat, mate. Good luck to you and the team at Momentum for the rest of this weekend, the rest of the season as well. We'll hopefully see you back in the supercar at some point. If not, as we say, Road America Friday night. Bring it on.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
And hopefully we're not putting the mocker on him as well as we were the other night.
Yeah, can you put it on Tyson and
Road America from well, no. I was going to say I thought you were going to more want me to put it on Andrew Dyson in the GT1 because he's the one that was benefiting greatly from your demise the other night. That was a cracking battle between you two until you tripped up there as well. So no, brilliant work, and I don't think there's anything that's tripping Dyson up at the moment except for his internet and himself when the internet doesn't want to cooperate. So we're trying. We want to see a dogfight to the checkered flag like the rest of you, but at the same time, when he's as dominant as he has been, I think it's going to be game over before we even get to the grand finale in GT1.
I'll put some practice in on for the Friday race. Where are the GT1?
Road America. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
So IndyCar and GT1 both same track. Yeah. All right, mate. Enjoy that. We'll hope to see you in the presentation area on Friday night after GT1 and hope that the work pays off.
That's the plan, mate. Cheers, guys. See ya.
There he is, Dylan Walker. Righto, Will Buchanan. Firstly, I don't know what it is, but everyone's just buying into you and wishing everyone a happy birthday at the moment. So much so we don't even know exactly whose birthday is. I'm going to ask people to start showing me IDs for verification going forward. However, from the shade throwing comments to the driving on the circuit, let's focus on the good stuff here. And that was a solid drive, mate. You've been very well acquainted with the supercar over the last 7 days, of course, with the Logitech 1000 and other things. But then Qualcomm comes along and you put in the drive of your life to see off the looming threat of Tyson Broad, who threw everything at you. That's got to be a nice little feather in the cap for you.
Hey guys, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about with the birthday stuff. I don't know.
Oh,
who started
yeah,
that.
right.
But,
No, not at all.
I was pretty putting the blame on David Kirby, I think.
There's two Will Buchanans, obviously, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I know, but it was a fun night. It was good to have Tyson in the air and have someone to battle with. Yeah, it was just, only learnt the track this afternoon, tonight, so, but yeah, I agree with Tyson. It'd be good to see it in a rearview mirror.
I'm just going to put it out there that if it is true what David Kirby's just put on the screen, October 28th, then we'll be here. We'll be in this booth. It'll be a Wednesday night. We'll be racing supercars. So if that's true, if that's factual, then we're going to have some fun. On Will's birthday plans are already set, if that is the case. Let's continue on. Talk me through your thoughts on the circuit firstly, and how you went about getting your head around it, because 5.4 kilometres, concrete canyon, varying width of bitumen to play with in any given part of the circuit, some of it wide, some of it very, very, very narrow, like what you're seeing here on screen at the moment. Not an easy track to tame.
No, definitely not. A lot of corners look the same, and yeah, turns very wide and very tight very quickly. So, I mean, it is a NASCAR track, but I guess it suits the supercar better because there is a bit more. It's easier to drive than the NASCAR, in my opinion. But I wouldn't even tell you what car would feel good around here. Like super bumpy, I don't even think any Formula or GT3 would feel good either.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'd be bringing Formula V here at any point, quite frankly. Brilliant performance. You had to stay off the threat of Tyson early, a little bit of chopping and changing. You led for a little bit, he led for a little bit. It just kept toing and froing, right? You guys saw off the threat, broke clear of Jason, Jake. At what point did you know that it was just going to be a two-horse race? Because at one point there you would have had to have been keeping an eye on what the other two were doing, because they were staying with you for a good chunk of that first stanza of the race.
Yeah, shout out to Jake and Jace. They drove bloody good in that first stint. I was just trying to keep Tyson behind and see if I could get Jace and Jake into the fight, really, and see if something could happen out of that. But yeah, after the pit stops, Tyson and I look like we were pretty comfortable on the fresher tyres, so that gave us the advantage there, I reckon.
All right, indeed. I'm just going to jump in here with some breaking news for everybody from Formula One. Yuki Tsunoda will drive for Racing Bulls this weekend, Zandvoort, taking the place of Liam Lawson, who is being elevated back up into the seat at Red Bull to substitute Isaac Hadjar, who is injured at the moment. So Hadjar out, Lawson in, Lawson out, therefore, of his regular seat, and Tsunoda in. Formula One back this weekend from the Netherlands, if you don't mind. Pit stops couldn't have come at a better time for you, as the boys said. We believe that you were very much the beneficiary of the fast repairs at your disposal tonight. Just talk us through that moment and how damaged the car was.
The car was actually fine, to be honest. I had a screen freeze and it stuffed a bit of my hardware up, so I hit the wall pretty square on, thankfully, and I think it was just more paint that's chipped off. So I just dropped in behind Jason so I could just fix all my hardware issues I was having at that time, and then I knew I was saving a bit of fuel behind Tyson, so when I pitted I knew I'd hopefully jump Jace and I'd be right on the back of Tyson again, which worked out.
your uncle can drop off because he said that's old news. What have you been doing, mate? As you know, I live in southeast Queensland. I'm used to getting the news secondhand. It's just normally between October and April. And secondly, so you can tick that off your bingo card now as well. And secondly, I hadn't actually done any Facebook scrolling during the course of that supercar race. I was keeping an eye on messages and other things that were coming in, but I hadn't done any Facebook scrolling. So that's why. Anyway, yes, Miller, thank you. I'd say Zach was commentating. That's right. What we were saying earlier about multitasking and maybe not being able to be in 4 places at once. I can barely do 2 things at once. Cracking scrap in the final stages, mate. Pressure cooker situation for you. So you got through, obviously. The screen freeze is interesting because it just adds to all the extra technological drama that we've had throughout the course of this season, and that's both in this booth and also for you guys out there on the circuit. I don't recall a time in which technical problems have been as prevalent as what they are right now, but you come out, you and Broad are duking it out, you hammer and tong, nose to tail. Just how difficult is it in that situation, knowing that he's there nipping at the heels, waiting for you to slip up, to go out and smash it and nail it without slipping up and inviting him in at any given moment? I mean, yeah, he put the nose in there on a couple of occasions, but there was just no way through. That was a faultless drive on your part.
Yeah, no, it was good from Tyson. It was nice and respectful. We gave each other room if the nose was stuck in there, and it was pretty good. I knew there wasn't many passing opportunities around here, so I just had to get on the block and in the braking zones there and just hold it tight at the apex so you can get a run at any stage.
How was the engine at the back end of the race? David wants to know. Did you have it on life support at some point?
He's probably referring to the co-driver clash Friday night when I blew the...
Yes, I did see that. Oh, you poor bloke. However, in saying that, from your standpoint, how was the experience of that whole weekend? Obviously, disappointment in the co-driver clash, but talk us through Sunday and how busy a day that was, how enjoyable a day that was for you guys in the 1000.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a pleasure to drive for GC Sports with James. Good bunch of blokes there. Learnt a lot in the last month and a bit driving around with them. And yeah, it was a bit up and down. Obviously on Sunday, it was sitting good within the top 6 or 5 until I had my little moment and got us to drive through. But I think we managed to work it back and to 20-something in the perfect time of the safety car allowed. I had my minimum amount of laps completed, so it allowed James to go right to the end, so it worked out with him against a few of the other co-drivers, and I think after penalties were P7 or P8 or something, so it's still a good weekend.
I'll just go back to what the Miller Motorsport boys are talking about there with regards to Liam Lawson and Formula One, and I know Jordan Pianazzola's weighing into the chat there as well. I agree that there's no real merit in moving him, but they might be viewing it as a potential for him to bag a stronger result under the Red Bull banner. They might be thinking constructors' points because we know that they're a big sort of ego thing in Formula One, and that might be the only method to the madness that makes any sort of logical sense as far as I'm concerned. Just going back to you, Will, busy season, but really the hard work you're putting in to hone your racecraft in the supercar, it's all starting to, everything's coming up Millhouse, as they once said in The Simpsons.
Yeah, I'm getting happier each and every week with in the car, learning a lot more, and just working on my racecraft has been the most important thing. Against all these top guys, even like Tyson and all that, who are such a good team, like Drop Bear, it's hard to defend and keep up with those guys half the time. So it was good to see all my progression is finally starting to pay off a bit.
Thoughts on how the next couple of weeks might play out? I mean, obviously, when we go to, I think it's Road America, it clashes with, no, maybe not Road America, maybe I'm just trying to remember whether it's September 2 or September 9, the Logitech G Pro Invitational is back in action. This week's Speedway, next week's Porsche, so it is the week after September 2. So that might put a line through you with Road America if you end up getting the call up to go and race there. But that leaves you with Long Beach for Super Sprint and the Bend for sprint racing. How do you feel about both of those? And again, when it comes to the Bend, would you go international or West configuration?
Which one are we doing? Are we doing West or international?
At the moment, my spreadsheet says international, but as I said, I've already been stitched up once tonight by the spreadsheet.
Yeah, international would probably be a bit boring. The Bend's not much racing happens, like side by side and all that there, and the field tends to blow out a fair bit. So hopefully it's the West layer, because that'll be good practice for Scops as well coming up in a week or two. So, and it's a bit tighter track and probably a bit more everyone battling. So, in Long Beach, yeah, I've never done good there, so I'm not too keen.
Indeed. Can I ask you, because obviously it's very clear, it's evident to everybody that's tuning in and listening to you talk at the moment that you're all in on the supercar, be it through Scops, be it through ASRG, GSRC, etc., right? So when you look at all of that, I have to ask the question, do you ever get tired of driving these things? Do you ever think it might be time to go and test myself in something else? I mean, your uncle there, he was talking there earlier. He was talking about the fact that he's now a GT3 racer. And when I first met him in the sim racing universe, mate, he was all in on supercars.
I mean, I like to do bit of the IMSA stuff. I'll do MEC in the hypercar. I think this season I'm going to try and give it a go in LMP2. I do enjoy the GT3 in the bigger events. Not real huge league racer in those sort of cars. So I'd rather leave them to special events and all that. But it's just, yeah, full focus on the supercar. I'm enjoying getting better and better at it each week, and hopefully we can continue on and try and have a really good year next year and see where we can end up in a few of the bigger leagues and all the other small leagues I do.
Indeed. Oh, sorry. No, I'm getting the relationship between you and Kirby wrong, aren't I? I'm trying to piece together the puzzle there. He said there's a relationship, but I've obviously cocked it up.
No, I don't know him at all. We'll just call him Uncle. Nah, I'm dating his daughter-in-law.
Oh, future son-in-law, right? Yeah, sorry. No, thank you. No, sorry. I knew there was a relationship, but mate, there's that much going on today that I've just gone. Okay, sorry. Back on we go. He reckons you'll be in the Pro Series next year, and I reckon he's got a point. In the Logitech, no doubt you'd be eyeing off that, hoping to get through not just the qualifying series, but bag a ticket into the big dance, mate. I mean, the Enduros give you a nice little taste of what that's like, as does the obviously cameo appearances that you've made throughout the sprint series so far. No doubt that's where the goalposts would be for next year if you want to continue with the supercar.
Yeah, we got a bit unfortunate in the qualifying series at the start of the year. Qualifying in 21st, so just one position out of the top 20 to get into the series full time. But it gave me the opportunity to be the wild card for the series, so I've had a few races in there and had a good result at Mexico. And then, yeah, obviously the co-driving opportunity with James has been great learning curve. So definitely hope to... We've no doubt have to do the qualifying series again next year, so hopefully go a bit better. But with those races, it's very competitive and everyone's all out. So and one race can cost a lot. So it's going to be a lot of honing my racecraft a lot more to make sure we don't make any mistakes in that and get a good result.
David now throwing some shade back in Jacob's direction, saying, have you finished your video? Do check out his YouTube channel. He's got the gift to the gab there, there's no doubt about that, and he did a very nice job in here last week with us in the Porsche Cup. Speaking of doing very nice jobs with the gift to the gab, I've got to get to Jordan Pianazzola yet and then get us off air. So well done, mate. Great result tonight, phenomenal drive, held off Tyson Broad, got the job done, and flying the flag for Brooksy, AIT GSRC Revolution E Racing, and the old FORD. Who would you like to thank?
Oh, yeah, just all the REI boys. All their support is incredible, and then to all our sponsors that do all the good stuff behind the scenes. AITX, Shield Coat, Sudspeed, Kibby, IR Sidekick, Chelsea Clean, and Slady's Glossworks. Their support, we couldn't come out and race very competitively as we do. So big shout out to them, and shout out to you guys for putting on a show, and Race Control for their hard work.
All right, very nicely done. Congratulations, mate. Phenomenal performance, and a real solid showing on the newest circuit on the tour. Whether we see it again or not doesn't matter. You're the first winner in GSRC Trophi.AI Supercars in the Elite Split at this venue, so well done.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Indeed, and some more messages coming on through to me right now. Oh, Jake Slade, here we go. Car didn't go up on the jacks, stopped on the mark, didn't get fuel or anything, went and looked at the replay, and my car was half a car over the line. Oh, no. Guessing netcode or something, and he's absolutely spewing about that. I don't blame him in the slightest. Thank you for the intel, mate. Appreciate that. I hope you're well. I'll try and... I know we didn't get a chance to catch up when I was down south in previous months. I think it was April I mentioned it. Back down there all of October, so I'll try and get down to the coast and catch up with you at some point. Go well. Hopefully better luck next week. Righto, Jordan, put a full stop on it for us, mate. I'm starting to hit the bloody wall. It's been a big few days. But solid showing from you tonight. And another podium finish in the Dev Split. But as we say, if you want to win this title, it looks as though you're going to have to climb back over the top of Jamie Fleming, who had the run of the mill tonight. A solid drive from him, but to survive and get through it unscathed, you've got to be happy with that. That's a nice little box ticked.
Oh, I didn't get through unscathed, but I survived the race. That was the main part, and was still able to come out with a podium. I mean, I finished, yes, but I did go nose first into a wall, so that didn't help me.
Hang on.
We're going to pull
you
up
mean
on
this?
the replay, are we?
Here we go. Andrew Neil to the rescue. Let's have a look.
It was.
Where did it go terribly wrong for Jordan?
I believe it was lap 3. And it would be the corner number of turn 8.
Turn 8, right. Let's have a look. Right, let's keep an eye on this. Because there are a couple of moments there where we weren't sure. Someone said that you lost the front end, but we had a look at a replay and we couldn't actually see it. But in the end, you had to wait for the pit lane to open so that you were in the window to be able to come in and complete your stop. But that meant two things, right? One, you're taking new tyres. One, you're taking a fast repair. One, you're trying to get yourself home. But you know full well that the back end of the race is going to be longer than the top end of the race, which meant that tyre life was going to be one of your issues.
Yeah, I kind of just had to take it on the chin and go with it at that point once I noticed I didn't have a front bumper anymore. But I was also just getting slowed up in a battle there when I didn't have the bumper as well. So I sort of just was like, all right, look, if I wasn't in this battle, I would probably still have some pace, but because of this, it's slowing me down. So I dive into the pits, get the car repaired, and just deal with the tyres later and just try and manage it the whole way through. And that's what I did, and it actually worked out, I think, quite well in the end. But yeah, like Fleming and Noble, they were way too quick, and I'm worried now going into the final couple of rounds with Fleming getting a direct drive, because it means he's just going to be even quicker now. So it means it's going to be even harder to try and beat him. But look, I'm excited for it. It was, yeah, look, everyone's pretty much said it tonight. It's a hard track here, and yeah, I'd done a little bit of practice leading up to it because I knew it was a vital round to survive. But yeah, I didn't do enough practice to be able to beat out Fleming, but I did enough practice to get on a podium, which is definitely worth it. Here's the mistake. Here's the mistake.
Yeah, there it is. You didn't. There it is. We didn't actually get a good enough look of you going into the wall.
We'll come around here, and now I'll drop the front bar in a moment.
Oh, geez, unlucky, really unlucky, but could have been worse. As we said, right? We talk about this with all the other boys. there's always that discussion about. I think that's just Slady sliding another message my way. I'll get to that in a minute. But the other matter, the other thing is, Miller Motorsport is right. That's not the racing line, but we look forward to his description of an onboard lap around here coming to his YouTube channel soon. But there's the front spoiler going. This is why you're lucky in that instance. You're able to drive away. You're able to nurse that damage. Just how hamstrung was the car for that little period of time?
I mean, it's a tough car. It was able to hold on. I don't think there was any steering damage or anything from the incident, which was good. I lie. I think there might have been something from lap 1 with Snedden on the back end of the circuit. We came together. I think I might have maybe copped a little something from that on the front end because it wasn't 100%. But then look, once the front bar went, I could definitely feel it wasn't as steady as it could be. But I could still, I still had trust in the car. It was just bringing those brake zones, back a couple of meters, and I know I'll get through the corner, nice and safe. And it was just trying to manage it for those couple of laps. And then, once I got in that battle, it was, pull the plug and dive in.
Indeed. Where do you sit with it with regards to, everyone's got their views with regards to supercars, fast repairs, sim racing, all those different elements that we've been talking about tonight. Where do you sit with that? Because as we say, you, just like Will, another beneficiary of the fact that you can just click the button and it's there.
Yeah, I can understand both sides of the story for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a catch-22 of a thing because like that front bar for me, I don't think, sure it got dented and crumbled and everything, but I don't think it realistically would have fallen off. And I think if it was real life and this had happened, I would have come into the pits and the mechanic teams would have just absolutely doused the front end in race tape and I would have gone on again. And it's similar then at that point to a fast repair because they just race tape it off, whoop-de-doo, let's go. And it would have been, obviously you can't replicate that exactly, but I think one fast repair is perfectly fine. I think that's the limit. Any more than that, and you're just getting a bit too casual,
Absolutely. Hey, just quickly too, the circuit itself, is it one you'd like to see on the calendar again, or are you happy to burn it?
Yeah. Nah, let's see it again. I love my street tracks. I think it'd be fun in pretty much most other things. I mean, you said let's not take a Formula V around here. I think let's send it.
No.
I honestly think it could actually bring up some really good racing. Sure, you'll get some people go nose first into some of the tyre barriers, but it's a street circuit, so you kind of got to anticipate those things. I mean, look at Adelaide. There was, I think, 3 of us on our lids after turn 4 on one lap. So it's a street track. It obviously has its own quirks as that type of circuit. But no, I think it'd be great. I think the supercars do work around here. Obviously, supercars, we know them to be on street tracks. You got Townsville, and obviously we used to have like Canberra and those types of things. But yeah, no, I think the supercar worked. I'd definitely like to see it again here in GSRC. Do I know for what car? No, but I want to see it again.
All right, very nicely done. V's and streak circuits would always be a good combo. They haven't disappointed so far, but again, it very much depends on how they handle the bumps by the sounds of that. Now, here we go. Look out. Ladies and gentlemen, just sliding into the booth 5 days after his last year. And 6 days after he was probably needed to turning up here into the booth for a post-race interview. I'm not sure if he wants to talk about Porsches or supercars right now because he wasn't out there in the supercars, but this might just be his post-race yarn with regards to the Porsches. Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello, Zach. I forgot we're on Porsche. It's a bit different than last time we were chatting.
Well, that's exactly right, because what actually, for those of you that weren't here, so what happened was last Friday night we got off air, and as we did Thursday night, all of us stuck around. We started having a chin wag, but then the boys got sick of having to use push to talk, so we all just migrated into the green room. And yes, the gloves were off from there. It was a good chin wag until about 2 o'clock in the morning. I think that's when we pulled up stumps. So 4 o'clock the first morning with Miller, and 2 o'clock the second morning. No wonder I'm feeling drowsy and tired at the moment. It'd been burning the candle at both ends for a week. Big scrape of the wall. Dead.
Wow.
Jeez, who was that? Wow. Jordan, there's your front end still missing. We'll see that get fast repaired very shortly. But talk me through what needs to be done from here, from your standpoint. The Bend, the next stop, so home turf, but then Road America, we know how that could play out for a 60-minute enduro, and then Long Beach and street racing. So obviously you're looking at Long Beach thinking, oh, yep, that's right in my element, right up my domain. But at the same time, you're also very well aware of the fact that you're going to have 2 invert grids to deal with.
Yeah, Long Beach with Super Sprint is going to be tough, but yeah, like I said, I love my street tracks. Look, I kind of, messed up at Adelaide, but obviously won in Chicago and got a podium here. So, yeah, look, I'll try to get another podium there, but Tail and Bend I think will be fun. Obviously that's, sort of another home track to me. It's like an hour and a half away. I'm actually going there this weekend to watch my mate race his XL around there. But yeah, no, I think that'll be, good fun. How do I prepare? Just do bits of practice when I can. I mean, me and my mates, we've done a lot of just shenanigan racing around the Bend. So, I mean, I know it's one of your questions on the layout, and I don't mind the international layout. I don't mind the West layout either. I mean, I'm waiting for the day someone in a league says, "Hey, let's run the GT layout." So I'm waiting for that one so we can do the full 7K layout. But yeah, Road America, it's a good circuit, always produces good racing as well. But it's not one of my favourites. But I do seem to do ish okay there. I think it's I don't want to say it's an easy circuit, but it's not like a street circuit. Like you can survive those races a bit easier than a street circuit, I think. So, yeah, I think the only real worry will be Long Beach, but yeah, I look forward to all of them.
Yeah, we're looking forward to all of them as well. I mean, someone will be here in the booth next Wednesday night because I'm not. But then for rounds 9 and 10, the American double, they'll cut Lake Wisconsin into Long Beach. We're very much looking forward to that. Yeah, an interesting racing part. Absolutely. It was an interesting race in parts tonight. But again, that element of street racing, particularly in the longer form races, once we have the incidents, once we have the strategy, there was a big spread around that 5.4 kilometre circuit between the top of the field and the tail of the field. There were a couple of drivers ending up down and a couple ending on the tow rope and in pit lane, or just in the early shower element of how you go about your business. So, well done to Will Buchanan, well done to Tyson Broad, and well done to Dylan Walker. And well done also to you, Jordan, there in third place in the Dev Split. A very good performance, I must say. We caught up with him earlier, Jamie Fleming, to get himself up there into the win in the Dev Split. We'll have the updated championship points for you guys tomorrow night. Now, Porsche tomorrow night, we're looking forward to seeing you there, and you'll be sharing the booth with me for Formula V. So I would advise that I don't think you've been in here on a loud night yet. I would advise that you brace your eardrums for that, because it's always an interesting experience when we go Formula V racing on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Final thoughts?
There isn't really much to add on. I'm excited for tomorrow to join you in the booth and watch some Formula Vs. It'll be my first time actually watching them live and in the booth. But yeah, I mean that'll obviously be a show. We know what the Vs are always like. Peak ups will be obviously great fun there at Interlagos, and I'm obviously trying to push to catch on Wade Sheedy and Paul Wilson after my win at Hockenheim, doing the double there. So can I repeat it? I don't know, but yeah, look, we'll try. But yeah, I don't know. I just rounded off with a thanks to the 116 Works guys. Same with all the guys at Skidmark Sim Racing and Matt's Unsafe Safe Space. And obviously you and obviously the one and only, the good boy, Andrew Neal, for putting on a show for us.
Yeah, good boy, Andrew.
Good on you. Good on you. Good on you.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it because Neely was commenting. You may have seen it there. As soon as we got Jordan into the booth and he was having a chat there about the race. Yes, very good. You two are enjoying the banter at the moment, and so are we all. Very nicely done. Now, stick around, Jordan, because this is going to be worth it. Let's wind the clock back 6 days, right? Because the one and the only Jaden Wilcox is in the house. I'm assuming that's what you're here for, to talk Porsche racing, yes?
No, I just wanted another one of our Friday night dances.
Not on a Friday though.
I am not letting you leave. However, I'm happy to chew the fat because it's been a big day and there's a lot to pick apart. I am happy to chew the fat. And as Jordan said, well, that's exactly right. Where do we bloody start? It has been an enormous couple of days since we caught up on Friday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Dominoes falling everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go and visit Auto Action. Go and visit the Racing Insider's Facebook page. Plenty to sink your teeth into there. You'll either laugh or cry depending upon which side of the fence you're residing at the moment. But Jaden, I'm not beginning that process, that conversation, without signing off, and I'll get to that in a moment, but secondly, without getting a comment from you on how you feel about Porsche racing around Hockenheim, because it's fair to say that it wasn't without its moments, but a solid result, I thought, for you in the feature.
Yeah, I can't even tell you what I actually placed. Does anyone have the results?
Well, hang on there. I should be able to drag them up. Just give me 25 seconds or so here. Porsche. There we go. Open him up. So last week we, of course, had the round at the Hockenheim ring for those of you playing along at home. When we look at the races in question, I'm just having a look down here to work out where on earth you've ended up in all of that. There we go. Oh, you've got it? Oh, good boy.
Yeah, he's down in 37th. Ah, God, now you're calling me the good boy.
Yeah. You beat me to so 37th with 11th and 2nd. So you didn't rate anywhere in the round, unfortunately. So what's happened here is you picked up a 5-second invoice in the first race for a late move in contact. So you've been vaulted out of the 10 to 11th, and then you fought back to go second in the second race and finished with 83 points. Not bad considering that the only other two registered results we have here next to your name the first couple of weeks, or the last couple of weeks rather, were 19th and D and F. So it's fair to say that was still your best result of the season. Miller Motorsport absolutely loving that Jordan Bianazola found the results before I did. There's a lot of drivers in our Porsche Elite cover at the moment, so it's just scrolling through trying to line them all up. But yeah, talk us through that, because obviously there was an incident in Heat 1. We didn't see that. We weren't in the house at the time. We were covering the open split. So talk us through that. I know that there's been some words exchanged between you and Logitech Orbit Drop Air Motorsport. I'm not going to name names. And then secondly, the
Oh dear.
and secondly, you did have to get the elbows out a little bit in the second race, but the surprising thing for mine is we have a look at the pointy end of that table, and there was one superstar by the name of Raymond Mallon, who came in and cleaned up and did the double. There was just no going with him tonight, but last Thursday night. But you did your best, second in that second race and clear air, and a solid result despite the penalty in race 1.
Yeah, I didn't see that I got a penalty for race 1. I think.
Oh, there you go. Breaking news.
Why?
It's been worth your while dropping into the booth, then, it would seem.
Yeah, I'm probably a bit late to protest that, but I think we all shared our own views of it. But yeah, Raymond was pretty quick. He's we'll be racing together next weekend actually in the PRNZ Phillip Island 6 hour, so it'd be good to see. I currently have the record there, but Raymond's pretty quick, so I wouldn't be surprised if he catches that.
Now, when you say 6 hour and Phillip Island, what cars are we talking there, please?
It's the Porsche Cups and the GT4s.
Oh, geez, that'll be a long slog in those two cars. Jeez. Okay. Interesting combination.
Not looking forward to it, but I am at the same time.
I can understand that. I can sympathise. And we're better than Phillip Island too, by the way. Like, that's a circuit that always turns it on, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have high hopes for it. Yeah, there's some strong competition in there, but we all raced together at OSR and we did win that, so hopefully back to back would be nice.
You'd much prefer stiff competition though, right? Like, I don't think anyone would turn up here and keep doing it unless they were an egomaniac. I don't think they'd turn up here and do it if it was just going to be cruising the park and win everywhere they went.
Oh, I would. It's good on the resume, doesn't it?
It does look good on the resume, but at the same time, like, friendly fire and good competition is healthy. And it'll be interesting to see how you go. So please report back on that one. But let's go back to Hockenheim. What'd you make of all that? It's been nice to see you back out on the track, I must say.
Yeah, I haven't really done much GSRC. Benny Peterson, actually, we do a bit of racing together and a bit of practice, and he does these. And I was like, I'll just jump in because Hockenheim pretty quick. And yeah, messy first race. We won't point fingers or name names or go into that, but yeah, I'll be definitely questioning why I got the penalty for that.
Well, I look forward. I'm sure Race Control don't need the extra paperwork at the moment, but I'm sure they look forward to answering your questions. It'll be interesting to see what comes of that.
Have it in there. Late move and car contact.
I was up the inside already.
Yeah, no. So that's what I'm saying. Nearly is the penalty's been handed down, and he's only just being made aware of it. He didn't realise he'd got one. So even though that process has been adjudicated on, if he's not aware of it, I'm sure he can go back and ask the question, and they can review the tape and either explain it to him or revoke it, one or the other. But it'll be interesting to see what comes of that, because I have seen the onboard, and yes, it's tempers fled quite quickly after that. Let's be perfectly honest. Still shocked how I get my penalty from Brown's brake check this week in the GT3s, says Miller Motorsport. He's not cranky at all, is he? No.
Tell you what, Miller Motorsport has had to put a snowplow on the front of his car to move the cars away as he drives through.
Yes. Jaden, how do you turn around the Hockenheim stuff and focus on Interlagos? Are we going to see you on the grid tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'll just make sure I'm all the way up on the side of him before I do it again.
Yeah, it's side by side completely. No, complete symmetry rather than having to question whether there's an overlap or not. Yeah, that might be the best way to do it. 100% rather than 85, 90, 75, 70, 65. If anything after 51%, I reckon is fair game, right?
Oh, they're going to get fair game. I'm looking at the car that I had it with, and yeah.
For Miller Motorsport, Neely, weapon and armour upgrades coming for Suzuka for Jacobs, so that'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Have you not seen the GT3?
No, I'm going to have to go in there. See, this is the thing, right? No, this is the thing. I've been tackling this other rubbish that's going on in the real world, and I think that's why Jaden's here to chew the fat about that. And I haven't had a chance to go through, and as a commentator, I probably should go through and have a look through all the chat threads, but it'd become a full-time job. Like keeping up with the domino count of the AASA at the moment is almost a full-time job, but I'm not getting paid for that. I'm just being amused.
It keeps you amused, that's for sure.
Absolutely, it does. All right, very nicely done. Jaden, good luck into Lagos tomorrow night. And the post-race show is live straight after the race, okay?
I will try to remember that.
Yes, very good. Obviously, Civ is more important than real world, says Jacob Miller. I'm going to disagree at the moment, only because we've been waiting for this real world stuff to blow up in our face for the last 3 years, and those of us that saw the writing on the wall are just sitting here and saying, we told you so. Andrew Neal, some final thoughts from you tonight. Interesting night, unique circuit, challenging night. As a spectator, I didn't mind it, but clearly some of the drivers are happy to just one and done.
Fantastic racing, Zach. It was an absolute spectacle out there. really difficult on the drivers. Lots of brake lockups we've seen into some of those corners coming over the bumps, but yeah, really, really good racing on the leaders. Fantastic.
Oh, very nicely done. Congratulations. Nice effort from you in the booth this evening. Well done, Jordan Pianozola as well. Hey, nice to be back on a Wednesday night. It's been way too long. I'll be back for weeks 9 and 10, back with the Porsches next week. The big season of competition continues on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, though, for you tomorrow night. Have a look at that. Compulsory viewing, ladies and gentlemen. VIR North first up. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. The Disruptive Labs Formula V Series races 19 through 21, North part of VIR, and that is from 7:25 Eastern Standard Time. Join Matt Schmidtke and I for that. Neely jumps in straight after to go to the Autodromo. Jose Carlos Pache, that is the Interlagos circuit in Brazil, Sao Paulo to be precise, and sprint racing there. Open split race 1, elite split race 2, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Friday night, let's be honest, Joe and I are 6 from 6. We're going for 7 from 7 with a view to GT1, the Civil War from 7:30 Eastern, the 40-minute race around Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, Road America, and then on to our coverage of the Disruptive Labs Road to Indy Series from the same venue, 8:40 Eastern Standard Time. Hope you can join us for that. Wheel Spin Friday night determines the car of choice for Saturday night's Mountain Men Expedition. That's from 8 p.m. Eastern, 32 laps around Mount Panorama, 200 kilometres. And then next week, the third last week of the term, GT3 will be the headline act on a Monday night. We mentioned Suzuka. That's where we're going, with the view to, if we can go over the page, please, Neely. There we go. Circuit of the Americas, that's right, yes. I didn't have it right here in front of me. I normally do. I didn't. Circuit of the Americas is the venue for Waste Options, Formula Renault Wings and Slicks 3.5. That is 7:25 Eastern. That's the last sprint round of that series. It's important to note. The Formula Renault 3.5. From there, they'll have a 30-minute race, then a 45-minute race to wrap it all up. GT3 Bronze from Suzuka, 60 minutes the journey there, 8:25 Eastern Standard Time, lights out 8:30. Adelaide, Tuesday night, the SCC. You've got the wrong one, do you? Hang on.
Tuesday night's going to be Imola. Yeah.
Right.
That's on the 1st of September, isn't it? Yeah. LMP3 and GT4s in Imola.
Nearly. We're still in August next week. Yeah, So Adelaide is right. Yes. Week 9 is what you're thinking about with Imola. Week 8, Adelaide, the SCCA Spec Racer Fords. So, there you go. That's the car that John Merritt was talking about earlier. The Spec Racer Ford. There you go. 3 sprint races, full reverse grid for the third and final one, I believe it will be there. Server open 7 p.m, racing soon after that. Wednesday night, I'm away, but Suzuka the venue. It says sprint racing, but after tonight's carve up, who knows? It said 40 minutes for Lime Rock. We got 40 minutes, but in 2 doses, 15 and 25. 7:25 Eastern, Suzuka. Looking forward to that event.
The race session is set up for a 40-minute race.
At Suzuka, yeah, of course it is. So someone has not relayed that correctly. My goodness. Then onto the bend for 40 minutes of supercar racing. That we can confirm. 8:40 Eastern Standard Time. Hope you can join us for that. Remember that we do it with thanks to Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, Trophi.AI, merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics. If you want to buy anything from the merch store, the website to head towards or head in the direction of is merch.tgsrci.com or gsrc.myshopify.com. Plenty to pick from there to suit all sorts of needs and purposes. Singlets, shirts, jumpers, bottle openers, hoodies, bucket hats, stubby coolers, you name it, they've got it. The GSRC merch store. Make sure you sink your teeth into that. Looking forward to it immensely. I've got to get my hands on some new merch. I haven't actually topped up for a little while, so I might do that with a view to Christmas in mind and birthdays and other things. Yeah. Merch.tgsrci.com. Now, if you want to get involved from the other side of the club, and that is either get involved and help us out as a broadcaster, help us out as a sponsor. It doesn't happen without the people that support us make it happen. The website that you need to go to, Alternatively, if you don't want to have an off-track role, you could have an on-track role. You can get out there with these lunatics and go door-to-door with them. Race.tgsrci.com is where you need to go. Normally, I'd be going around the grounds at this time of the night, but it's a very quiet Wednesday night. No sport really to mention. Tomorrow night, different story, however, because we'll be updating the NRL and the AFL right throughout the course of the program. So we're excited about all of that. Now, we're done. I don't think there's any other boxes to tick from a housekeeping standpoint. Hope you enjoyed it. Been a big night, been a big week. A lot going on, both in the sim racing world and in the real world. The off-track conversation has never been as prevalent, as rife as it is right now. As I said, Auto Action has more information with regards to all of that, and they've got their finger to the pulse as well, because they, like me and many others, haven't been exchanging Christmas cards with the CEO of the AASO, or the alleged AASO as it is at the moment, for quite some time. So go and sink your teeth into that. And some of the social media content, it's piss funny, it's great. Hope you enjoyed it all. We're signing off at 4 minutes to 11. Christ, that got away from us, didn't it? I just looked at, that's the first time I've looked at the clock, because my watch has blown up and I've got 2 dead watches that need battery changes. And I went into one of the stores here locally and they said, oh, look, we can keep it for 3 weeks and do it here, or we've got to send it away to the manufacturer and it'll take 8. And I'm like, no, that's all right. I'm going to Cessnock in 3. They do battery changes on the spot. I'll be right. So, but at the same time, you feel a little bit naked without a watch when you've worn one every day for, oh God, I want to say nearly 30 years. So, yeah, it's a very strange feeling at the moment. The first time I've looked at the clock and I was like, did the post-race show really run that long? Yes, it did. 4 minutes away from 11 o'clock on the East Coast, from 9 o'clock on the West Coast, from 1 o'clock in New Zealand on a Thursday morning. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Wednesday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, live, exclusive and free. On behalf of Jordan Pianazzola, Andrew Neal, all the crew here, Jaden and I are going to go and chew the fat about motorsport politics. You're going to go off and enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully a good sleep. Recharge the batteries, ready to ride night. You don't want to miss that. Formula V from VIR into Porsche Cup racing from Interlagos. In fact, both tomorrow and Thursday and Friday night are compulsory viewing, ladies and gentlemen, because Road America for GT1 and the IndyCars, that is going to be an absolute belter, and we're looking forward to that as well. Will Buchanan held off Tyson Broad in an absolute showpiece of brilliant driving on the supercar front, at least, here at the Qualcomm circuit as it made its GSRC debut. Earlier in the night, Andrew Dyson continued his dominance in the BMWs. And, of course, as we saw there earlier, we should give him his dues as well. We're talking about the supercars and the dev split. Our good mate Pianazzola backed up his commentary work with the podium, but he wasn't able to beat Jamie Fleming, who edged his nose in front as far as the championship fight's concerned. So we look forward to seeing how that's all going to go. Hang on. What are we showing on screen now? We've gone back to replays. Is that how long I've spoken for? My goodness.
This is the Chase McMillan one that we were going to go back and have a look at. But...
yes, please. Thank you. Let's do that very quickly before we go. So McMillan, yeah, okay. I don't know how you're going to do it. But I'll keep signing off as you take us out with that replay. So McMillan with a little bit of a moment late there in the piece. Will Buchanan's night, that was a showstopper. That was a brilliant showcase of supercar racing from both men, and they can be very proud of that. But to the victor go the spoils. Will Buchanan on top. The championship picture will be an interesting one. We'll update that for you tomorrow night. Well done to Jamie Fleming. Well done to Andrew Dyson. Well done to you for hanging in there for the ride with us, coming along and joining us for the fun of the fair on a Wednesday night. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Although this one, I don't know if he necessarily enjoyed this particular moment. Let's have a look at this. We didn't have a look at the chase moment. We were chasing it up. We did get asked about it about an hour and a half ago, but we got there in the end. And just one of those nights where a small wall scrape was very easily bringing people undone. Such is the nature of racing on a concrete canyon like this, especially when it's an unknown entity, a brand new playfield. There it is. We hope you enjoyed our coverage. We'll keep this playing until such time as you see the incident that brought him undone. Neely's chasing that up at the moment. He's not having any luck. We'll keep rolling the tape. We'll see you on Thursday night Motorsport tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern time, when Andrew Neil, Matt Schmidt and I reconvene. And Jordan Pianazzola in here to offer expert comments in Formula V, as well as he serves some time in the naughty corner, having racked up his safety licence penalty points last week. There it is. That was the rear end. I think there was a front end smack as well at some point. On behalf of the crew here, I'm Zach Cabin. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening, everybody. Come back and join us tomorrow night. Until then, bye for now. There's another one where, remember when Miley was on the wrecking ball?
Stop.